You were tuned in to episode 93 of the Goodfellas podcast. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru, in the building solo, but only temporarily. My main man, Boxing First Vlog, will be in here in just a moment. VP Shane will be in here in about good 20 minutes or so. And just want to welcome everybody to the show. We're going to have a real good one today. Lab Coop Thursdays. We're going to be doing some film study today on some of the bigger fights that's going down this weekend. David Benavidez against David Lemieux, Buatsi versus Craig Richards, and also Jamel Herring versus Jermaine Ortiz. Just a second. David Benavidez against David. Mic check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2, baby. It's the OG Boxing First Vlog. We in the building a little late. Had some technical issues with the Instagram link that we usually get to set up the show. So again, doing my best to make sure we get y'all the best product available in the boxing market.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it about myself. Shane will be in here in another 20 minutes or so. Big shout out to Willie G in the building. Said, what's good, fellas? What's good with you, Willie G? Get your pen and pad out today. We're going to be breaking down a lot of film, things like that.
Can I stunt you one time just to pause you, put you on pause just 1 second? From time to time, you usually have to dislocate your shoulder to pat yourself on the back, dislocate the other shoulder to give yourself a nice little hug. But I be on point, man. I call that Scardina Coriolis upset. This was another Kiko Martinez type moment in boxing. A guy with 10 losses, very overlooked. And you can't do that without doing your homework. And the guy Scardini, Italian cat, coming in with a lot of steam, and it's in the middleweight division, 20-0, 14 knockouts, blah, blah, blah. He got the brakes beat off him. But you check my IG page, and I just reposted it just to kind of get folks familiar with why we have shows like this, where you get to tap into that third eye that we be bringing to the table, man. And I know I'm very good at it, man. If I don't do nothing, I analyze this boxing game very, very well.
The one thing you're going to get from Boxing First Vlog is self-confidence. That was self-confidence on a poster. You understand what I'm saying? No, homework is very important. Homework is no different than school. You do good homework, do good studying, you usually get good results. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do today. He said, Willie G said, can never overlook an opponent. That's very true. That's very true. And, when you break down film and things like that and different scenarios, you can actually pick out which opponents is kind of like what we call, quote unquote, live dogs. And that's what the film study actually unveils. So hopefully we'll be able to show you guys some good footage and actually break some things down, which could lead into what you'll see on Saturday. But we got a full boat today. We have Jamel Herring, Jermaine Ortiz. That's a big fight, really big fight. We have Benavidez versus Lemieux, and we're definitely going to break that down. And then we got Buatsi and Craig Richards. We have to break that down as well. So, Vlog, where do you want to start?
It don't matter to me, man. I'm so good at this shit, bro. God damn, I'm not even going to lie, bro. I think I'm going to be a millionaire betting on boxing in the next 2 to 3 years. I'll put that on my mama. But anywhere you want, bro, and I'll break down every fighter and tell you what we need to be looking for, as along with Jeff, on how these dudes can win and lose these fights, man. We did it for Bivol, and we did it so excellent that you should be running with us week to week that we have these big fights, because we're going to give you the keys for each guy to be successful. And even in a Saul situation, we couldn't even give you no keys. That's how good we are. We could not tell you how this guy could win that fight against Bivol. That's how good we are. So anyway, Jeff, wherever you want to start at, baby, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna nail it.
Let's start with
Willie say Benavidez.
Willie G. You said Benavidez. All right. Well, let's start there. So Shane can just catch up when he gets in. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Benavidez and Lemieux. It's the main event on Saturday. And we have to examine some older Lemieux film. Because to be honest with you, there's not a lot of recent film on Lemieux. It's a lot of 160 Lemieux on there. Give me just a second, bro. Give me just a second.
But when if you talking about changes in weight, well, one thing we can believe in Lemieux will do as he gets older, he'll stick to what he's always been good at. That's the one thing. If we find what we seeing in these clips that Jeff gonna share with us, we'll be able to see what he's good at and guarantee he'll at least try that in this fight with David Benavidez. That's one tip. When Jeff says, okay, there's not a lot of recent, so we can't see like currently what his speed's like, things like that. We'll at least be able to tell you what we know that and what we see that he's good at, that you could first say, okay, a couple years later, he'll still be trying to do those type things.
Facts. What we're gonna do first is actually show we're gonna show Benavidez versus Ronald Ellis. That was basically Lemieux's most not Lemieux, but Benavidez's most recent fight. This video is from Hurry Up Boxing. Big shout out to Hurry Up Boxing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through these highlights on here. So basically vlog as you go. Hold on just a second. All right. So what we're gonna do is we are going to show those highlights. Vlog, I just want you to break down kind of what you're seeing from Benavidez, and then if there's anything that Ellis is doing successfully that can that Lemieux can kind of duplicate in this fight. So we're gonna run it. Let me set it here.
Over here off that brain food, just getting my mind right. So, pardon me.
Absolutely.
You hit that volume?
Yeah, I cut it.
Yeah, we don't need that because it's all about the visual anyway.
Yeah.
First thing I'm gonna tell you what I can say I've seen consistently for the past at least 3 to 4 Benavidez opponents. The shell game at high level. You know what I'm saying? Like once they start getting affected, as you'll see, you see how Ellis came out as if he wanted to be the attacker. But watch when Benavidez really puts the foot on the gas. He shells up and doesn't get back into this sort of, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to shoot my shot. I don't think in this scenario, what's the name, was picking the right shots. He was just throwing. So Lemieux, being the OG fighter, I think he wants to be selective with his shots. Definitely don't, wing yourself out. And as you see, Benavidez start coming forward. None of that aggression from Rashidi Ellis once them shots start landing. This early in the fight. So Rashidi looking fresh. He's trying to counter. But you see how quick he slowed down? None of them fast 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations that he had threw in the first round. Started slowing down right in the second. And that's the pressure from a dude like David Benavidez. Now, what I say about Benavidez, I don't know what I like better about him, his long game or his inside game. Pretty good at both, showing that he also has a little bit of a back foot game in this particular fight. So is he decent all the way around? You can honestly say yeah, because look what he did, fighting off the ropes, accepting some pressure, dealing with it, never catching a money shot from Ellis. So you're dealing with a guy that has a little bit of a reaction time. You see how he slipped that counter in there and kept his foot coming forward, just leaned back, but kept right back to the forward motion of pressuring this guy. So again, man, David Benavidez currently is showing us he's a decent package. But again, we looking at a guy in Ellis that doesn't have that pop that a Lemieux has been known to have. I don't know that he still has it. We got to find that out. But we know his record says he does. So we got to believe that he's bringing something into this fight. But like I said, Rashidi Ellis, the good things he did in this particular clip is he at least pressured. He at least attempted to come forward. When you've seen guys in the past wait for Benavidez to put the stamp on it, like early in the fight, I'm coming forward, I'm just going to wear you down, pound you out. Again, David Benavidez not being a one-punch killer that allows guys to really try to throw back. But you trying to match volume with volume, steam with steam, it's hard to do that. You can see Rashidi Ellis doing good most of the fight. Doing pretty good. But what happens? That pressure breaks pipes. And that's pretty much what happens against David Benavidez. So I don't know if you get a guy that has to pressure you to break you, can say he's a pound for pound guy. I know we had bought him up some weeks ago, you know, being a guy that's undefeated, being a guy that's never really got the big name. And, you know, sometimes you got to talk about guys that have that implements of being ducked as being guys that may be pound for pound. Because look, he's being ducked. So are the pound for pound guys scared of him that much? So you kind of got to mention them in that conversation. Nice little counter shot in there by Rashidi Ellis. So what I'm seeing from Benavidez, he can be
that is Ronald Ellis. You keep calling him the 47 Ellis.
Same dude. Same dude. Unaccomplished. Might not manage to much. And then you got your boy Rashidi in so much deep waters at PBC, he might not be found over there either. I'm just saying. Just saying, they could be the same guy. But they look alike too. Very strong fighters, guys that's going to attempt to do good. I would say definitely that the 147 Ellis is better. But anyway, man, back to the breaking this fight down. Just too much pressure. Look at the pressure. David keep coming forward, throwing leads, throwing anything he want, really. He's not the best body puncher. I'm going to be honest. He's not a guy that's going to slow you down with that one shot to the body. So David is a guy, again, if you got some cracks, you might be able to slip something in there and really get his attention. But, again, how you going to deter a guy that's never been deterred? It's going to have to be that shot. I mean, you got your boy holding on in here. And I see that one little body shot. Yeah. Just things like that, you got to be real consistent. He should have doubled up on that, in my estimation.
Let me point out something real quick. So if you notice, the way Benavidez throws his hook to the body, he turns that shot into an uppercut, and it looks exactly the same. Matter of fact, let me run that back real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Because there was a particular moment that I want to show. So watch the next time he's in close. He throws a hook to the body, and then the next time he turns that basically that hook into an uppercut. It looks exactly the same, the trajectory. And Ellis didn't fight bad in this fight.
Huh? Yeah,
Ellis didn't fight bad in this fight.
He just ain't got no heavy hands. You got to have heavy hands to push that water back. Strong hands can push water back.
You see that body shot that he hit him with, that left hook to the body, and then watch the next. See how that uppercut, it looked exactly the same. It looked exactly the same. So if he's digging to the body And that's something Lemieux got to watch out for. If he's trying to protect them ribs, David Benavidez got a mean uppercut, and he disguises it well too. See, he was landing the uppercut against Ellis all night. That's a key punch. That's a key punch for him. Key
All right,
punch.
you see, we seen this. Tell me something. What you liking better in Benavidez, the long game or the inside? What do you think is?
Me personally, offensively, he's more effective on the inside, but he's just more responsible on the outside, defensively responsible on the outside. We got
Okay.
VP Shane in the building.
What's going on, teammate, cohort, little bruh? Check
Yes,
this
sir.
out real quick before you get to jumping in. I think that's where Lemieux can be effective. Maybe try to play the outside. Don't turn this into a war. Try to beat him at the long game. Make David use energy to stalk you, use energy to try to catch you, and then you can counter and crack him. You know what I mean? Because you want to conserve your power and use it when it's best. So I don't know.
I,
That's a
I,
cool
I,
outside
I
view.
would I would say the problem that David Lemieux has is at middleweight, he's relied a lot on punch power. And I don't know how his punch power is translated to super middleweight. Because at middleweight, he was an elite puncher, you know. And you could even argue that this probably would be the hardest person David Benavidez will fight in terms of just single shots.
Hey,
And
hey Shane, do you want me to run? It's about a 7 minute clip. You want me to run this back? And
no, it's
you want
fine.
okay,
It's
okay,
just why I'm saying this is because sometimes David Benavidez is going to give you chances to land your shots, and David
right.
Lemieux is an elite puncher. He was an elite puncher at middleweight. David Benavidez is more about volume. So one thing David Lemieux is going to be trying to do is see if he can get David Benavidez's respect. But if he can't get David Benavidez's respect, he's going to lose this fight because he
Yeah.
doesn't have the output and the stamina to keep up with Benavidez over the course of 12.
No, that's a fact. Let me get in here real quick. Willie G said Ellis is touching him though. Ellis was getting shots off. He was definitely
David
getting shots
Benavidez
off.
fights like that. He's
He
very
fights like
similar to
that.
Mungia, where they're going to give you chances to hit them back.
Yeah. Willie G, Lemieux has some
That
power.
was what I was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Jamie Leroy in the building. Big shout out to you. You want to get something in, Vlog?
My thing is, will Lemieux have the speed to be able to make that power effective? Because you got to be like you seen from Ellis. You got to be able to catch him in between. So will his speed be able to support that power that we
Do,
believe
do,
he has?
do you
I
feel
think
like he has to catch him in between because David Benavidez ain't going nowhere? He's going to be in the
that's
kitchen
what I
all
said.
day.
That's what I said. Does he have the speed to be able to do it? We see Ellis has speed, but he had no power.
But I don't think Lemieux necessarily needs speed because David Benavidez ain't going to move. He's going to be right there. So you're just going to
But
basically.
his that's what. But if you've seen in a lot of the clips, it was the speed in the counter punching that Ellis was doing that was allowing the shot to get home because Benavidez is a decent anticipator. So his lean back game is heavy part of his defense. So
I mean, we're going to see that in this fight. We're going to see that in this fight because we saw how slow David Lemieux was against Billy Joe Saunders when it
that's why I said. That's why
came
I
down
said
to
I don't
setting
know
up
if
the
he has
power
the
shot.
speed
But at the same
to be able
time,
to counter punch properly.
because David Benavidez is going to be right in front of him, I don't think he's going to face the same problems. I feel like the biggest problem is David Lemieux's not used to going in reverse, and that's going to be the problem. He's going to be in there with an almost cruiserweight, and he's not a natural super middleweight. What was David Lemieux's last fight? I can't remember. Someone check what his last fight was. David Lemieux. I can't. You're on mute. You're on mute, Jeff.
Yeah, his last fight was against an unknown guy. He looked like he was in a ballroom somewhere.
What was
Like
it? What was he?
it was 668.
No. What was the rounds?
I think he knocked him out in maybe two, something like that.
I think his last. Who was the last known dude on his resume? I can remember.
Don't do.
Go through his resume. Go through his last like 5 fights. So
Okay, hold on. Last five, we got he fought David Zagara, got a TKO in the second round. Francie Tetu, KO in 5. Maxim Bersak, split decision, 10 rounds. Uh, and then Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Um,
I think that's the
uh,
last time I actually saw him fight with the
and
Spike
that's what,
Sullivan fight.
yeah, and that's actually what I'm getting ready to queue up right now is Lemieux
But
versus
that was
Spike.
at 60. That wasn't even
Right.
at 68.
Yeah, but it's no film on him at 68 really any
That's what I'm
effective
saying. We
film
don't know
anyway.
if his power translates. Because if his power
True.
translates to 68, he's gonna cause Benavidez a little bit more problems than I think. No, Benavidez still should win the fight, but it's the fact that Benavidez gets hit quite easy. It's the fact
Mm,
that that power might cause him a bit of problems.
yeah.
I said that. We said that. Now, can I react to this comment?
Go ahead, bro.
You didn't even read it yet.
I read it. I can read. It's right there on the
I
screen.
mean, aloud.
But I'm moving on while you because Shane, you be in there like this, cackalacking and shit. I'll be like, man, no,
I would
I'm just
expect
fucking.
you to go on,
Go
go on,
ahead,
go
read
on.
it, Jeff, man. Host the show. Jeff, man, I'm about to get hot, man, to start clowning. Let's go.
Bro, I'm waiting for you to finish. Like, what he said, what's happening? Jamie Leroy said, what's happening, boys? Kanaki versus Del Boy has been announced. These boys need to retire. Well, if they're gonna retire, it's best they retire together. I'll take Del Boy in that fight. 4
I'm gonna
rounds or
say
less.
this, bro. Kalnacki just had a nemesis. Same way Wilder had a nemesis. So do you feel like Deontay Wilder shouldn't come back to the sport?
I mean, potentially, you can make the argument.
You can make that
You really
argument.
could off of fighting one guy twice and not
No,
being or three times not being able to beat him. In Kalnacki's situation, fought the same guy twice, not being able to beat him. You
no,
feel like that's
no.
undeserving of other fight opportunities?
I mean, he deserves to fight more, but it's just down to his personal interest. You know, some people don't take losses well. You know,
Obviously, if you fighting another dude that's on your level is just a friend guy, known guy, a fighter. That's it. This is just a fight. This ain't about no world title opportunities and all of that. This particular, I'm loving this fight. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? You got two warriors going to scrap. Just let's let it happen. It's a hardcore guy fight. It might not be for you, Jamie. You know what I'm saying? It's like real a hardcore guy fight.
The only difference I would say between like a Kalnacki and like a Wilder example is um it seemed like Kalnacki, like it seems like at times he just really don't care about defense. And that's the worst thing you can have as a heavyweight. That'll really, really get you hurt. But really outside of that, his situation is no different than his situation is no different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who this is on Twitch, but we about to get you
What are
up
you
right now.
doing, Sway?
no, I was just moving something. Sorry.
Hold on.
You streaming on what's that one joint called?
OnlyFans.
Yeah, you streaming on OnlyFans, Shane?
No, why?
I was fucking with you, man. Jeff in here doing too much technical shit and fucking up the flow of the show.
You doing too much talking and fucking up the flow of the show. It's like,
What the
no.
hell you getting with this shit, bro?
Yo, I'm trying to get this off. I don't know.
Just ignore it, bro.
Yeah, I'll just ignore it. They just going right
Wait.
down the line. I can't even delete it.
That's one of the biggest problems as well.
Yeah, but let me show this footage of a Spike and David Lemieux. Like this is 160 footage, but you know what I'm saying? This is pretty much the best we got. Hold on just a moment.
We're gonna have to start calling him DJ Jazzy Jeff for real, because he over there in the mixer.
Oh man. Hold on.
Who shout out the page, Jeff?
Oh, I'll shout it out afterwards. I forgot the name of the page.
All right, fair use. We breaking down the match. Spike was a good gatekeeper. Spike was, you know what I mean? Everybody kind of had their turn at him. He's the Lorme of 160.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Fair.
Your boy look old then. Shit. How long ago was this? Oh, he can't take a jab.
And that's the problem. We saw that
Yeah.
against Billy Joe Saunders and Golovkin.
Man, it took me 10 seconds to figure out this mother can't take a jab. And I ain't seen him fight in years, bro.
I mean, the problem
Bro.
is what he wiles and rails up on these one single punches like that. You know, he just
That could
like
be effective. That could be effective. Because
but
that's
the problem he's got is he doesn't have no what's it called? He hasn't
he
got
ain't got
no
inside
he
game.
can't take a jab, and his way of getting on the inside is just there's Mark Ramsey right there. His way of getting on the inside is just not effective.
Hey, that
Hey
ain't
yo,
trainer of the decade.
I didn't say he was the trainer of the decade.
yo, can you let's watch this again? Is there anything you seen in this clip that he could possibly do like right now?
I
Well,
called it
the
just a
power,
Hail Mary shot. Hail Mary.
that's it, really. I can't really see anything else because even Spike O'Sullivan was able to keep a certain amount of distance behind the jab. Every time Spike O'Sullivan threw a jab, David Lemieux went back. And
Ate it.
look at
Yeah,
that.
he
And
ate
look
it
at that.
good. Clean.
Look at that.
Right on the eye socket. But Spike doing the wrong thing.
Look
Not
again,
sticking to it.
2 jabs again.
That's all I would have done was throw that. He would have had to throw that overhand right off my jab and not off timing.
Again, look at that. Every time the jab's thrown, David Lemieux's going backwards.
But that's the thing about throwing that sort of shot. You can throw that shot off the back foot and be as effective as standing face to face and throwing that sort of shot. You see what I mean?
No, but one thing I would say is though, Benavidez isn't always tight with his shots. David Lemieux is very tight with his power punches, so he might be able to beat David Benavidez in a bang bang shot.
I don't think he. That's what I mean. I don't think he could be. When you say tight, he has to be long because he's still going to be the shorter fighter, so he can't throw powerful short overhands. He got to really swing it for the fist.
No, I mean when they're in the pocket, sitting close to close. I'm saying when there's a bang bang shot, as David Benavidez had to hold his feet. When they're up close, he might be able to beat David Benavidez to the punch.
That's what I mean. So I'm analyzing it from a different perspective when I counter that by saying how can he had to get that same shot off. If Benavidez fights long, he would definitely have to put a little extension on it. Would that take away the power though? You think that would take away from his power or?
No, I definitely feel like it would take away from his power, but I don't know. I don't know what game plan Benavidez is going in there with.
Can he go in there with his regular? Can he come in just regular Benavidez and win this fight? You think he?
I feel like he can.
Can I ask you, Jeff? I don't think you answered directly. What is he better at? The inside? Well, I think you did, Jeff. You said the inside.
He's more
effective as he quit. He got long game and he got an inside game. Shane, what you think he's better at?
I think he's better coming forward.
But I mean, coming forward behind the jab or just come forward, get inside and go to work? No,
behind the jab. I think behind the jab because
so the long game, especially with a guy that got cracks, you don't trying to swing for swing.
I don't think Benavidez' high guard is good enough to just abandon the jab. I don't think his high guard's good because when you're coming in through the front door and you're not coming in behind the jab, you have to have a good high guard. I don't think Benavidez' high guard is good enough.
He was taking shots from Ellis.
Yeah, that's my point. It's better to come in behind the jab.
Ellis has speed though. So Ellis getting his shots off was based on his speed. Also, the non-superior defense we can agree that Benavidez doesn't have. He doesn't have elite defense. So that's what I mean by that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Lemieux's not fast enough to get those pink sort of shots off to answer.
I think Lemieux's just going to be looking for one great single. I feel like that's what Lemieux's going to be looking for.
That's his only chance.
A long night.
I think we all know that. I feel like it would be very ignorant to feel like that Lemieux has a chance. You know, I think he has probably a 10% chance. And if he carries the power up from middleweight that he had at middleweight to super middleweight, then certainly he's gonna get David Benavidez respect. But I don't think it's gonna be a case of us going, wow,
Man, this shit ain't going 8.
I'd be surprised if it does as well. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if it goes
I
6.
If I'm based on just what we saw right now, he don't have the speed in the defensive movement to stay out of danger long enough to extend rounds. That's
And
why I
then,
say it 8 in my
but,
estimate. I give him veteran savvy that vets. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt, but also
what if he does get Benavidez respect? Benavidez might be a bit cautious walking through that front door.
that's a few rounds. 4.
But I've never seen Benavidez cautious.
He's
That's
never
the
fought
thing.
a puncher.
Right. So we gonna find out.
That's my
No,
point.
that's untrue. Mama's boy had some cracks, and he was walking.
No.
Who got some pops? He's a strong guy. He was swinging. Benavidez was just walking right through that shit.
Nah,
bro.
mama's boy ain't got cracks
He's
like that.
He's not a puncher, bro.
I thought he
He
was a
not
strong
no.
dude.
I would say
He
he's
was
average. He's
When
average.
you look at his record alone, he's not. You can tell he's not a puncher. He's not knocking dudes out.
But I'm looking beyond that though. Like you can look at
not.
you can look at a guy. You can look at a guy and how he fights and like how he turns his punches. I'm judging it on how he turns his shots. And I'm talking.
Are we
about
talking about the right mama's boy, right?
You talking about Dennis Dublin, right?
Yeah,
It's mama's boy.
He got knocked out, but that's because he was really winging to answer, and he got caught trading. That's what happens. You swinging for the fences, and you eating these shots.
But I'm
talking about somebody that's strong that I believe he fought. If people keep saying he ain't fought strong dudes, and
I'm saying he ain't fought a power puncher. I'm saying he ain't fought a power puncher. I would say
there's a split in how we feel. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a power puncher, but he's stronger than Ellis with his punches. So
no, 100%.
Guys that are strong. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying that you could make the argument. I'm not saying it's a fact, but you can potentially make the argument that Lemieux will potentially be the biggest puncher David Benavidez has fought.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Say it again.
We don't know. That's why I said potentially. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
And for anybody in the chat that tap in with us, I'm rolling the Benavidez inside 8.
I'm saying inside 5.
I could see inside 5.
Older Lemieux. I'll go inside 6 to backdoor the little homie. I'll go inside 6. I'm feeling that good about this pick.
Yeah, I just think he just going to, because Lemieux's not defensively responsible. Even when he was at his best, he's not defensively responsible. So he's older. Yeah, he's older and slower. So I would say if Benavidez don't get him out of there within 6 rounds, we got a problem.
But I'm disappointed with David Benavidez. People that he's fighting, to me, I don't think he's been fighting good enough fighting.
Well, Shane, you know how this game go. When you're dealing with a guy like that, it ain't too many people in the line waiting to get in.
I hear you, but the reason why I still am questionable. I'm questioning that because there is still fighters out there.
No, you to support Shane without you even having to go that deep, to agree with you, cut you off a little bit. The bag will be too high to get these guys that we say he needs. So how much are they able to afford to get the right guy till a belt opportunity comes? You see what I'm saying? That's what I think it is. The pay may be too high.
Well, I can't really see his career progressing past where he's at right now if he's not getting better competition.
Yeah, but that's different from that. I get what you're saying, but is it because of the cost? Basically, is my rebuttal to it.
But then how does that change?
I don't know, bro. I'm not an inside. Y'all guys smarter than me on that side of the game.
Because my point is, it's like without fighting better competition, your stock isn't going to increase. And in order for your stock to increase, you need to pay a dude more money. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, we can bring up numbers right now. How much do you think Lemieux is getting?
200,000, 100,000.
No, I think getting more than that.
She's getting more than 200,000, maybe.
Through Alf, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But even with that, like someone's got to take a gamble on Benavidez. That's what I think. I think someone's got to take a gamble on Benavidez.
The reason why I know he's making more than that, bro, Erislandy Lara makes $1 million a fight.
But he's signed to Al Heyman.
Yeah, but David Benavidez
But that's what I mean. They probably
No,
had to up the
no,
pay.
you're asking how much David
They
Lemieux
probably had to
getting.
up the pay to get.
Oh, you said Lemieux or
Yeah, how much
Benavidez?
David Lemieux is getting.
Oh, my bad.
That's what I mean. The opponent. Are they
Yeah,
having?
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
200,000.
that's my fault.
That's why the competition is lower.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
what
I'm saying.
I mean.
How much?
No, I
Jeff,
would
I
say
now
about
know that.
100,000. Yeah, I say
100
about
to
100.
200.
Yeah, 100, 150. 150.
Okay, so let's say a name. Let's say Morel. How much would it cost them to make that fight?
The thing is with Morel is he probably costs round about the same for, or maybe 200 to 300,000. But the problem with that is David Benavidez is going to want more. You see my point?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is his fights, and like guys like him, Boots, is it costing too much to get the names us as fans need?
But something has to give. You see my point? At some point, someone's gonna have to take a loss on Benavidez to build his name up, because it's like when you were building up when they were building up Floyd, or when they were building up AJ. They were taking losses at the beginning because in the back end they knew that it was gonna, like, Eddie Hearn didn't make back that 5 million he invested in Charles Martin to get that fight. He just did it because he knew what it was going to mean down the back end. So someone's going to have to make that gamble on Benavidez. I think PBC tried to do it with Canelo, but the problem is what PBC should have done was they should have threw that bag to Caleb Plant. That's what they should have done. Before they sent Canelo that Caleb Plant fight, what they should have done was Caleb Plant versus Benavidez, the winner versus Canelo. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, Benavidez is in a really difficult spot.
Someone has to invest in this dude. You see my point?
Yeah, you got to overpay.
Shout out to Emily. She that's one of his inside team members. And a big shout out to the work she doing. I know she tried to get her to tap in. I sent her let her know we doing the podcast and we definitely breaking down our fighter. So big shout out to her.
But all in all, I've never really been a big fan of Benavidez. If I'm being honest, I've never really been a big fan.
Really?
Not really.
Wow.
I think he can fight. I think he can fight, but I've told you numerous times, I think he's a weight bully. I think he's a weight bully.
But I thought you still liked him though. Like
he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Let me ask you this though. So since you said that, because that's news to me. Let me get Jamie Leroy out the way real quick. He said Lemieux left hook is powerful, but he's getting stopped under 7 rounds.
Yeah, he's got power.
I agree.
No one can question the power.
I agree. Benavidez, Joe Smith 175. Who wins that fight?
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight to call. Firstly, you got the output with Benavidez, but I think Joe Smith's gonna get his respect real early because Joe Smith actually has power.
Tough one, ain't it? That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I'll lean towards Benavidez, but I can see Joe Smith winning the fight as well.
I got a better one. Joe Smith. I mean, my bad. Benavidez, Jesse Hart.
Oh, Benavidez.
Benavidez. He don't have enough power.
So that's what I'm saying. But his size, him being naturally the bigger guy. We know Benavidez doesn't have one punch KO. So that's not something that Jesse would have to worry about. So would he be able to go trade?
But Benavidez is bigger than Jesse Hart.
Yeah.
Naturally walking around?
Yeah, bro. Jesse Hart forced himself to make 175. He wasn't big at 168.
Bro, he's not. He's not
168.
Yeah, he's not. Jesse Hart is not. Jesse Hart is wiry. Like he's not. You see him live. Like he's not that big of a dude. Like I'm almost sure Benavidez is
a good name. But giving you credit though, Blunt, that's a name I would say. You know what? Throw Benavidez in there. Throw Benavidez in there with Jesse Hart. That's a name where you can go. You know what? Throw Benavidez in there with Jesse Hart. That's a name. That's a name I would have fired.
Free agent. So my boy a free agent. I know 2300 and them. They do a little work with PBC on the side, don't they? Jeff would
Yeah,
know a little bit.
yeah,
That's my
yeah.
point.
They do. They
That's
do.
a good name. I would not be
Well, you
upset with
know
that
what
fight.
fight he chasing though.
Who's that? Joe Smith.
Nah, that Berlanga fight. That's a fight he want.
But even someone like Belanga will lose to Jesse Hart.
Yeah,
That's
Jesse Hart would beat Berlanga in my
that's a good
opinion.
question though. Will Stokes said Benavidez versus Anthony Hart. That's a good question.
All
That's a
right, you
good
go,
fight.
y'all go through it. Go through it. What y'all
That's a
think?
good fight.
What y'all think?
I think he get to him. Your boy Yard shows he has issues with somebody that could fight long. I think Benavidez' IQ would allow him to keep distance until it's time to step into that pressure, step into that.
The punch output will cause Yard problems, but then Yard is so much more defensively skilled than Benavidez. Yard probably has much more power on a single shot, and obviously he's bigger than Benavidez, so that will cause the problems. I think that's a tough fight to call. I think that's because I agree with Blunt. You know, Yard struggled with someone who throws a jab. You know, he struggled with that. You know, and his walk down game ain't the greatest, and his footwork ain't necessarily the greatest as well. So that'll be a good fight.
Yeah, it's definitely check marks on each side.
But
It's
but are we
definitely
realizing that we're comparing Benavidez with dudes at 175 and not his own weight class, which is 168?
yeah, but we know is guys. Look at your boy at 135. He's on the bigger end of 135. So if we start talking about him against a Robert Easter or what's the boy that lost against the 147 cat Virgil or Ortiz? What's the brother?
Maurice Hooker.
Yeah. Like I can see Ryan Garcia against Maurice Hooker just based on his size. So I think this happens in boxing. Like a guy is able to make weight, but he's a guy that can carry weight also. So
But
I think
that's
the
the problem.
conversation is too far fetched, is what I mean.
Well, the reason we mentioning him with other 175s is because you said you think he a weight bully.
Yeah.
So let's move him up to
But
175.
I
the
mean,
problem is no.
yeah,
The problem also is 168. Let's keep it all the way 100. The toughest competitors at
I
168
gotta go on mute. People in here
Okay.
baking cakes and
are
flipping pies and
dudes
shit.
who are at 160.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, the dudes who people actually want to see at 168 are the dudes at 160, Andrade and Charlo. You know, so it's because 168 is actually a barren division. It doesn't have the name, it doesn't have the attention, especially in the American market.
Yeah. He has every reason to move up.
Yeah.
He has every reason to move up. More opportunities,
I
less
mean, even
politics.
someone like Danny Jacobs, you could see he's at 168 now. He's a pumped up 168. He's not even a natural 168.
Yeah.
Who else is there? I mean, it's not a stacked division.
Yeah, pretty much. But he should go up to 175. I mean, if he know Canelo not gonna get in the ring with him, he know Caleb Plant not gonna get in the ring with him. And I don't even know how good of a win a Caleb Plant fight would be anyway. He'd probably be better off going up to 175. To be honest with you, I think a really good fight for Benavidez is his first fight at 175 would be like a Sergey Kovalev. Get his feet wet. You know what I'm saying?
Kovalev wants to fight at cruiserweight.
Yeah, but I think if they offered him that bag for Benavidez, I think he would take it though.
I think they need to go and put Benavidez in there with Marcus Brown.
I think Marcus Brown is in a retirement home right now at under 30 after that Peterbiev whooping that he got.
Oh yeah, he getting ready to get a fight, man. L Dub tapped me in on something, man. He got somebody coming up, man. I gotta look back at that convo again.
Who got somebody coming up?
Your boy Marcus Brown and
Really?
and somebody. I think
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, man. Let me get in here, man. This is my dude, L Dub. You know,
Marcus Brown versus Benavidez would be a fight. You know, who else is there out there?
Don't rush me.
I think he damaged goods.
He is damaged goods. He is damaged.
I think your boy damaged goods too, but he got a fight coming up. Where is that, man? Kalnacki told me that. Didn't he tell me somebody else? Oh, that one, boom. Y'all go ahead, keep conversating while I do
I'm
this, man.
trying to figure out who else at 165 is. I mean, what about Benavidez versus Leader Alvarez?
Oh, Andre. There we go. Got it. Andre.
Andre what?
Andre Durrell.
Who Marcus Brown versus Andre the World?
Yeah.
That's actually a good fight. What happened to Jeff?
He his wife came and unplugged everything.
Let me get through these comments. Bro, I wouldn't be shocked if Yard walks around heavier than Benavidez. He probably does. I wouldn't be shocked if Yard walks around as a heavyweight for real. But Yard's supposed to walk heavier than Benavidez. Yard is at 175. Yard got gas problems. He carries too much muscle. That's a fact.
Hey,
But
hold this down, bro, man. I gotta make a call.
wow, these guys have abandoned the shit. But in terms of what were we at? Yeah, if I didn't know Marcus Brown was fighting the real. That's a good fight because Marcus Brown does need to get back on the does need to get some confidence, build some confidence. Plus he's up against someone who the American public actually know. You know, so it's a fight that maybe people can get behind. And I actually feel like the real has the name as well as the I don't want to say the style because um he shouldn't cause Marcus Brown problems where Marcus Brown should be in a situation where he's losing. Will Stokes says Shane who wins Yard Buatsi. I'm not even thinking about Yard Buatsi because Buatsi's got a tough fight this week against Craig Richards. And to me, if I'm being honest, I'm still stuck between who I'm picking between Richards and Buatsi. You know, I think Richards has got a very good chance because of the jab. He keeps the fight long. You know, he's got good boxing skills, long range boxing. Technically, I feel like he's much more disciplined than Buatsi. But then when it comes down to the actual overall skill of, I mean, the overall talents that Buatsi has, which is the power, the athleticism, the speed. You know, I feel like Buatsi's probably gonna be going in there, either undefeated fighter, so he's gonna have confidence. I feel like he's a person who can cause Craig Richards problems, but Buatsi does have limitations defensively, so that's probably gonna be my biggest problem. Whether Buatsi can bypass Craig Richards' jab and keep the fight close. If he keeps the fight close and he's able to get off his offense and sustain his attacks over 12 rounds, he should win. But if Craig Richards can keep Buatsi on the end of a jab, keep it long, and get off his punches, get Buatsi's respect from real early, you know, Craig Richards could cause an upset. So yeah, I don't know where these guys have gone. These guys have abandoned the ship. What else was there? I was gonna talk about. Oh, can we talk about? Yeah, back to Benavidez though. It's a fight that we could also see is maybe Benavidez versus Leader Alvarez. I mean, if he was to move up to 175, I wouldn't mind seeing a fight like that. Maybe Benavidez versus who's that? Jeff. What the hell happened to this dude? This is a hard fight for Buatsi, in my opinion. Bro, it's definitely a hard fight for Buatsi. You know, it's just whether if Buatsi can take Craig Richards' punch and get on the inside, he's gonna cause problems. But I feel like with Craig Richards' boxing skills, his technical ability, his size, his reach, his range, his height, he can just cause Buatsi so much problems. And I've seen so much defensive deficiencies in Buatsi. I feel like Craig Richards can exploit. It's just whether Craig Richards can take Buatsi's power. Because when Buatsi gets up and close, he's gonna let off shots in a lot of when Buatsi gets off shots, he's gonna let off a lot of combinations, and that could cause Craig Richards big problems. Canelo loss will have given Craig Richards confidence. Why do you think that?
Yeah, my bad, y'all. The internet went like completely out. I had to run downstairs and like actually like replug it back in. I had a fuse
He said
blew inside of the crib.
he said Canelo's loss will have given Craig Richards confidence.
I think it's the other way around. I think he's trying to say with Craig's Richards loss it gave Canelo. I don't. You know what? I don't know what he's trying to say. I take that back.
Oh,
Canelo's loss. Canelo's loss will have given Craig confidence too.
why?
Yeah, you lost me with that one. Will Stokes also will Yoka's loss have an impact on Virgil Hunter or Buatsi?
Neither.
No, neither one. Neither one.
Neither one. I think what, especially with coaches, they're able to get losses out their head real quick. And
Hey,
it wasn't like a fight where it was high profile like a Eddie Reynoso. It's better if you said if Eddie Reynoso's loss with with Oscar Valdez had an effect on Canelo. You know, high profile
yeah,
loss would affect Eddie Reynoso moving forward. With
yeah.
with Virgil Hunter, he's got so many clients, and the Tony Yoka fight, it wasn't a high profile fight where he taken embarrassment, or it was a case of people could look at him and were questioning his performance. So it shouldn't be something that had no effect
Um,
on Virgil Hunter at
hey,
all.
hey, Will Stokes to double down on that. Virgil Hunter was in the corner with Dominic Brazil when he got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. People don't even talk about that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So trainers and fighters, they are in their own specific
The,
pockets.
the,
I
the
mean,
only time that has an effect, because like let's keep it real. I mean, um, Bomac was in the corner for
Amir,
Crawford, and then Amir Khan. You know,
right?
we I feel like the only time it has an effect is, let's say, someone like Tunde Ajayi and Anthony Yard. That is a situation where a loss, if that would affect if Tunde Ajayi if he was coaching somebody else. You see my point? That would affect
Yeah,
mentally
yeah,
because there's a certain emotional connection. I give you another example. Um, um, Danny Garcia and Danny Garcia's father. There's an
yeah,
emotional connection there. So whoever
yeah,
he coaches, or Robert Garcia and Mikey Garcia, you know, there's an
yeah.
emotional connection there. You know,
Right.
especially when you're leading up to. In fact, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a real good example. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when Anthony Joshua was gonna fight Dylan White, and in preparation for that, Dylan White hired Klitschko's coach, which was Jonathan Banks, and Jonathan
Mm-hmm.
Banks was coaching Klitschko to fight Fury. And then obviously Klitschko had lost the Fury fight. And going into the Dylan White fight, Jonathan Banks hadn't invested as much time into Dylan White as he did Klitschko, because obviously Klitschko was world champion. That's the
Right.
only way where you can see an effect. That's the only way in which you will see an effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, before we move to the next comment, apologies for the tech stuff. I had a fuse blow in the house. We had to go fix that real quick. Appreciate y'all sticking around though. Will Stokes, because Craig performed better than Canelo against Bivol. But I mean, Craig is almost twice Canelo's size too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just two different dynamics. And Buatsi never been close to fighting someone like Bivol.
Yeah, no,
Um,
and you,
yeah, I
you can
understand that.
you can tell that Craig Richards has looked at that, because he did bring it up in the head-to-head when he said that um I've been at elite level and I've lost, but I have been at elite level. Whereas Buatsi, you haven't been at elite level. So to a
Yeah,
certain degree, he is taking it with him. But what I would say is Buatsi is way more aggressive than Bivol. Bivol is a better fighter than Buatsi, but Buatsi is aggressive. So if he's thinking that because the Bivol fight was so comfortable that you're gonna go against Buatsi and it's gonna be comfortable, you're in there for a big mistake, because
yeah,
Buatsi is aggressive.
yeah. I'm gonna actually run some Buatsi footage versus Bolotniks
Mm-hmm.
vlog. Shane, I just want y'all to just run through it and just let me know what y'all seeing during these highlights.
Cool.
All right, give me a second.
I'm trying to touch a bag this weekend, so I need to see all this personally myself anyway. Save me from do it. Oh, I ain't playing, bro. The list is bonkers. We got to talk off camera. You know what I mean? Because I need a better site, bro. Having issues with FanDuel.
But
Anyway,
we gotta have a conversation about that regardless.
yeah, I see what you mean. He's swinging. He's swinging from the outside.
Yeah, literally
I,
power punches from the outside, and you
oh,
can
I
see
seen. I seen him get clipped real quick though. So
defensively, Buatsi again, he's not very efficient, you know. And if you look how tall and big Craig Richards is, You know, again, you see how he's throwing power punches from the outside. You know, a bit like Daniel Dubois does.
See, that's what I saw. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's my point. Now, if you got a guy that's IQ as Richards has, would he be able to make those count? Because we can see right now, obviously, this is a fight where his opponent didn't go forward off a shot like that. Like, didn't, reset that shot up again.
100%.
Because
sorry to cut your forehead.
If you look, the guy should have actually took a step back and kept doing that towards him, because he was walking into that shot, a step back, and you shoot that same overhand.
If I'm Craig Richards watching Buatsi, he throws so much power punches at long to mid range. I'm throwing the dummy jab, bro. You know the false jab, what Larry Holmes used to throw. Just a false jab, just to initiate a trigger. You pull back, bang, backhand. That's what I walk this dude onto all day, because what you throw is, you throw that dummy jab just to give him the full sense of security that the distance is safe. He's now going to reach in with a power shot. You pull back, you walk him onto a shot. That's what I'm throwing all day if I'm Craig Richards.
That's another form. That's another form of what I was saying, taking a step back, because it looks like we're going to get pressure from Buatsi. Like, he's going to be the guy coming forward. So
coming forward with out and out aggression.
You keep setting that sort of shot up that Shane described. For me, it would be just taking a step back to find that counter punching range. But Shane also admitted you could set it up with the not really a feint, but you got to stick something out to get him eating on it, and then you can counter. So we both correct. It's just two different ways you can do that.
I agree 100% with Blunt. It's the only reason why I suggested that was just because to give him that full sense of security that he's slipping something. So he's going to load up on a shot, just like how he loaded up on a shot just there on a clip. You know, he's loading up on a lot of these power punches at mid-range. You know, look at that. He's loading up again on shots at mid to low range. And if I'm Craig Richards, I'm just looking to exploit that. Whoa, that was a good shot.
Can I say something real quick? This might not have been caught by everybody. If you've seen when he gets clipped with a nice little shot, he'll slow down. He won't stop completely, but he will slow down. And the guy he's fighting, I don't remember the name. What's his name down there?
Bolotnitz.
Bolotnitz. I'm just fucking with him, man. Big shout out to him, though. He was doing some good things even in this loss. I noticed that. So he was catching Buatsi and making Buatsi stop. Now, if that happens in this Richard fight, Richard has to continue through that.
That's what he done there. Can you just go back 10 seconds here? Go back.
Yes, sir. Hold on a second.
Just go back a quick clip. Like no. Yeah, just a little bit further. No, a little bit further forward. You went back too far.
Okay.
No, even further than that. Yeah, there. Click there. If you look at it, there's gonna be a clip that's coming up. 1 second. Look at this exchange that's coming up right here. Watch this. I don't know where it is. I think it's coming up. I just don't know where it is.
You passed
it. No, say it. Watch this. He's just standing right there in the pocket and he's just taking shots. Defensively, Buatsi is not the most, what's the word?
Defensively responsible.
Sound guy. Yeah, he's not sound at all. Look at his Philly shell. Don't try that. I think Richards can take advantage of this Philly shell. If you double up on left hooks, his Philly shell is, because you can feint downstairs. You see how he leans too much with the Philly? I don't know. If you could pressure him and turn him into a defensive fighter, you could probably take some advantage. Look at that.
So again, he's just loading up on punches from mid to long range, and I feel like Craig Richards can take advantage of that. You got some clips on Craig Richards as well, Jeff?
I also noticed he don't transition well. If you seen him Philly shelling and he was trying to hook and throw, he wasn't accurate with none of that. So if you get him defensive, that can help you negate his offense, because now you making him, he doesn't transition well, like with say somebody like Haney or somebody like Tank Davis. From defense to offense is a lot more dynamic. But that's a nice guy. I'm not taking nothing from him, but there are some little bit of weaknesses in there that I think Richards may be able to capitalize on.
Of course, and he loads up on. He doesn't come in behind the jab neither. He just wails in these shots at long range, power punches at long range, and he defensively just doesn't get his head off the line at all. You know, look at that. That's a shot, power punch at long range, unnecessary power punch at long range.
Well,
Yeah, Bolotnik didn't have a jab either. See, that's
No,
where Bolotnik went wrong. He didn't have a jab to stop any of that. He just coming right through the front door like your door open. So, you know, a burglar gonna be a burglar.
but the thing about Buatsi, the reason why he gets away with a lot of his little deficiencies is he's
Oh, he stepped on
probably
his foot right there too. Y'all ain't see that.
he's probably top 3 in terms of just pure athleticism at the division.
yeah.
So it's going to
see
take
that?
somebody athletic to take. It's going to take somebody athletic to
Or
take
someone
advantage of
with
some of these.
good distance management, which Craig Richards does have.
Craig
And
Richards does have that. I'm really questioning, does he have enough athleticism to really
over the
kind of
strip.
to exploit some of these things?
What I feel like if Craig Richards can land something on Buatsi early, he might be able to get his respect, because if you look at it, that wasn't a fight that Bolotniks lost because Buatsi had too much power. He just got overwhelmed with punches.
Yeah, and Buatsi, I'm just gonna keep it real. Like Buatsi's like disrespectful. Like like he's disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like he's a
yeah. This is some.
disrespectful.
You know, let's watch that. Let's watch this.
So we're gonna watch. So we're gonna watch. Basically, these are highlights of Craig Richards and Dimitri
Dimitri
Bivol.
Bivol.
All right.
If you look at how, first I want to say, look at the Craig Richards' frame. Like this dude, for them to compare this dude to Canelo was just ridiculous. Look how tall and big this dude is in comparison to Bivol. So
right. We're gonna run it. All right, we're gonna run it. Y'all call it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You can see.
Analyze a little bit. I gotta analyze a little bit. Take me a couple seconds.
Now he pulls back with his head right back in a straight line, which Buatsi's gonna exploit. But
now what I can say right now, Buatsi would have the ability to turn the wide hooks that he throws easily into an overhand in the scenario that we're seeing Richards with that lean back. That lean back it's not lean, it's not all the way back. It's like halfway there, which is still danger mode. And he's not countering off of it. Now you see how he's leaning, but it's not like he's shooting something off of it to make you pay for trying to keep him slipping.
That's a fact. The only thing I would say in difference is Bivol was throwing jabs on the way in, whereas Buatsi's not going to be doing that. If you look, Bivol's throwing jabs on the way in.
I get you, but but is Buatsi fast enough throwing the hooks as Bivol was throwing his 1-2?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think he is quick enough. And the reason he gonna get him off, Craig Richards' feet bad, yo.
Bad.
Yo, he fights too tall.
Feet is
he
bad.
Fight too tall. I'm already seeing some.
Yeah, he fights way too tall.
Buatsi's the favorite already. I mean, I can't. Yeah, he's defensively no dip in the knees, no spin off. He's either straight forward or straight backwards.
Yeah, and the problem is this is the problem with Craig Richards is if you look at it, he fights too much on his heels, not on his toes. You see my point? So that's why he's stumbling.
And that's because his base is too wide.
You're able to spin off. You're able to kind of slip back faster than being flat-footed.
His base is too wide. So if you even look at these highlights, look how, and what I mean by base is too wide, you got to look at his legs, how much separation it is between his legs. You can't be on your toes if your legs
now
are completely separated.
I really don't know how people feel.
I'm going to be honest, bro. I think that helps him take a punch. Because if his legs were any closer, it would almost level him out too much where you could just be kind of tilted over.
That's a good straight right handle.
Well, the thing is, if you notice, bro, like Bivol, when he decides to start punching, he can get 5-6 shots off and know nothing's coming back because his base is so wide. So that's what
I mean. That's another breakdown. Great by Jeff. His offense to defense, based on the way his base is not set up for him to go from offense to defense to answer whatever Bivol initially threw. So I get you on that one. He's not going to be counterpunching in this fight very well.
Craig Richards
stance.
Yeah, Buatsi's gonna come in here real disrespectful. He gonna come in here real disrespectful, yo, because his feet bad. Craig Richards is going to hit him with something early within the first 3 rounds, kind of
But I, I,
turn the
I I
tide.
feel like Craig Richards is gonna have much more success with the jab control though.
But you got to. Here's the thing, though. If you
You got
notice,
to be willing to jab first.
if you
But
notice,
what? Go on.
if you notice when Craig Richards throws his jab, you can counter right over the top because
It's
Yeah.
slow as
he
fuck.
don't. Yeah, his
This
pull
shit
when he
slow. He
pulls
can
his when
counter
he
it
pulls
with a
his
jab.
jab back when he pulls it
He
back,
can counter it with
it's
a
real
jab.
slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
slow.
he,
And
and
this
he, pu-
slow.
and he pulls the jab back to his hip. Watch every jab he
Yeah,
pulls back, always to his hip. Look at
I'm
where
gonna
the
tell
jab
you
goes. What?
something
Jeff,
right
Jeff,
off top.
yeah.
Even
Jeff,
in
what?
these sequences, you
Jeff,
thought,
Jeff, what? Watch the 50. Watch the next 5 jabs he throws. He pulls it all the way back to his hip every time, all the way back to his hip.
yeah, that's where it ends up, right by his waistline. And that's
Literally,
not
that's my
good.
point.
That's a
Yeah, that's
counter right
not
over the
good. A
top.
defensive move. Oh, he caught that one. He got a chin though. I ain't gonna lie. He got a chin because Bill been catching him in a lot of these clips. So will his chin stand up over just pressure beyond pressure? Because that's what I'm anticipating. Buatsi, a guy that seems extra confident, is
And
looking for
more,
the
and he's more aggressive than Bivol naturally. Bivol's just a safety
Yeah,
first fighter. Bivol won this fight relatively comfortable, so he didn't take
yeah.
much risks.
And he's gonna give Craig Buatsi's gonna give Craig Richards chances in this fight. He's definitely gonna give him chances, but Craig Richards' footwork is so bad. It's really bad.
Do you know who he reminds me of a bit? You know, early Lennox Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Early Lennox Lewis with the
Yeah,
footwork.
before your boy Emmanuel got his hands on him.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And the thing that's crazy, that's a great comment because Lennox used to lean back on everything. Too tall
Everything.
and used to lean back on everything.
Chin up
And
in the
that
sky.
chin up in the air. Yeah, he looks like green Lennox Lewis in terms of the technicals.
I will say he got a chin. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
definitely got a chin.
Hands.
He
And
definitely
Bill,
got a chin.
And,
yeah,
he,
he
and,
got
he,
a
and
chin.
you can't disregard the fact that he actually has real good size. Like when you got
Yeah.
dimensions, you got dimensions. Like Fury. Fury's got real good size.
But one thing about having size, that's too much mass to get it out the way too. That's too much
that's
mass
a fact.
to be
That's a
light
fact.
on your feet to help. Like if you're a big guy that kind of got
He
movement,
really got
that's
touched
part of
up
your
in this
defense
fight,
because
you
you
know.
could be bouncy. You know what I mean? We've seen Mike Tyson, a solid muscular guy, be bouncy. So I don't see that in Richards being a solid guy. He's not a very bouncy guy. So another defensive, miscue to me, or just a mark on the bad side for defense for him.
Yeah, let me jump in these comments real quick. Will Stokes, he said that was a good win for Buatsi, though,
Yeah.
to be for real against Bolotniks. Yeah, I thought that was a good victory. Hold on a second. Let me stop sharing that. Will Stokes said Bolotnik and Keenest. Yo, my God, pound for pound sports entertainment with the super chat, man.
The money's going
Appreciate
straight on the
you.
spread.
Yeah, absolutely. He says salute to y'all. Everybody hit that like button. Appreciate you, bro. Definitely go subscribe to Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment, man. Definitely doing good work over there. Big shout out to you, family. Will Stokes, Josh needs to watch the Little Blues. This has been an issue with him multiple times.
But
Yeah,
it's not deliberate. You can just clearly tell he just very reckless with his punch placement.
he's a hyper ass kid at the
Yeah.
candy store. Like he just bouncing off walls and shit. You know what I mean? Will Stokes, I don't think it's ridiculous to compare Richards to Canelo at all. Canelo is much smaller, but he's also significantly more skilled. Canelo didn't lose the Bivol just because of the size.
No, but the reason why I'm saying it's difficult to compare them is because you got one dude in Craig Richards who fights literally behind a jab and Canelo doesn't. And then another thing is Canelo naturally comes forward, whereas Craig Richards fights off the back foot. And then you got another dude who's 6'3", and then you got another dude who's 5'8". Bivol ain't gonna have to go looking for Canelo because Canelo's right there. Bivol had to go looking for Craig Richards because Craig Richards, even though he, as we said, he has very bad back foot, he was still on the back foot. So they don't have comparable styles.
Yeah.
Only thing that was comparable, my guy, is they both lost.
Yeah, facts. Andre Southgate in the building. Big shout out to you, bro. He said Richards won't win too easy to counter.
That's something that we could
Uh,
clearly see, very
yeah,
clearly see, especially
he,
over that jab. He's got to use the jab a bit more, like, you know, bam, 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 like with a little bit more peck to it. But I do feel like though, because he's easy to counter, he could walk Craig Buatsi onto punches. Because when you
I agree.
overreach on a counter punch, you overstretch. And if Craig Richards could throw the straight right hand at the back of it, he could walk Buatsi onto a counter punch because
Hey,
Buatsi's shots are wide. They ain't
hey,
straight.
hey, Shane. Listen, if Craig Richards gonna win this fight, right? If you notice when Bivol was getting off, Bivol was getting off. You notice Bivol was the most active in that fight than any other fight he was in his career.
Yeah.
Because Richards allowed him to get 5-6 shots off at a time. So if Richards is going to win this fight, he's going to have to sit down on 1 or 2 shots in between them 5 or
Yeah.
6 and make his count. Because he's not going to beat. He's too slow. He's not going to beat
Yeah.
Buatsi
Buatsi.
punch for
And
punch. He needs
especially because Buatsi's so overwhelming with his shots. But the advantage he does have is that Buatsi's wide with his shots.
Yeah, and that's why I said I didn't like Richards in a decision. If he's going to get this fight, he's going to have to get Buatsi up out of there. He's going to get him up out of there.
What I'm gonna say is also against him to get Buatsi up out of there. His accuracy is terrible. Just from the little bit of clips I've seen in there, he wasn't very accurate with the jab or with anything following the jab.
But
where you felt like it was going to do some damage on Bivol.
But Buatsi is defensively very irresponsible. Bivol's a little bit defensively
That definitely would help his accuracy. I'll give you that. It would help his accuracy because he's not.
That's a good point though, Vlog, because and the reason why his accuracy is not that good is he's throwing everything off his back heel.
Yeah,
everything off his back heel. His weight is shifted this way. You know what I'm saying? He never gets weight into his shots.
Never.
So he kind of like he big for nothing. You know what I mean?
Back to his crossover game. Like he can't go from defense to offense very well. And then if you're not very accurate, you kind of behind the 8 ball even more to a certain extent. So
he's actually someone who would actually benefit from Kronk.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
He would need a good.
I mean, he's a tall guy. You know what they do with tall guys: Fury, Lennox, Tommy.
Tommy Hearns, yeah.
Yeah, they do well with tall guys. So
and the tall
maybe
guys,
lean him up a little bit, get him a little leaner at 175.
The thing is, though, it's his. He probably needs to go through a couple months just on foot drills.
Foot drills.
Just foot drills alone.
And the problem is you can tell if he does do foot drills, it's all linear. And I tell people all the time, if you ain't doing circular foot drills, you ain't doing foot drills.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. He looks like a guy who fails tires all the time.
Of course. Of course.
I'm having a little fun. I respect him as a fighter, but we do have a little fun from time to time. He's not picking his feet up very fast.
Do you guys know the spider drill where you got the 12 lines and it's the lines in different directions like a clock? He's got to spend months just doing that because you can tell everything is just back forward. There's no circles. You never go backward in a straight line, and he does things way too linear. And that's one thing you can tell if he has been doing footwork drills. He hasn't focused on understanding that you don't go back in straight lines, you don't pull back in a straight line, you don't keep your head on the line, you take your head off. Like he doesn't understand those concepts.
Yeah,
it's gonna be trouble.
What strengths do you see, Blunt or Jeff?
And Richards?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think the Bivol film was probably some bad film to look at, to get positives out of Richards. All he really showed in those clips is that his feet are bad. You know what I mean? He couldn't get the Bivol because his feet are that bad. And I know you've heard me say that a couple times. I want to kind of explain that a little bit more. If you notice, when he throws the jab, his jab is always short because he's always leaning back like this when he's throwing the jab.
Taking away his weight.
He's taking away his reach, and his weight is not going forward. He's not getting nothing on the shots. Then when he's throwing the jab and he's bringing it straight back, like Blunt said, it's coming down to his hip. That's a counter right over the top. And then on top of that, what he does, what Bivol was doing, he was avoiding the jab. He was getting 5-6 shots off because he knew Craig Richards was going to do this. Nothing coming back. He was just going to go like this. You know what I'm saying? If you run it.
You can tell he doesn't have the fastest of hands neither.
No, like this is not fast. Like he was really just turning, like trying to turn with the shots. But if I know I can get 5 or 6 shots off, and all you're gonna do is this, I'm gonna throw 5s and 6s all night.
I'll give you an example of someone who has exactly the same style as Craig Richards, but the only difference is they have better footwork, and that's Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is as slow and as sporadic with his style, very robotic. But because he fights on his toes and not on his heels, you can see the effectiveness of Joe Joyce. That's literally one of the biggest differences. Obviously, Joe Joyce has much better punch output, but I'm just meaning in terms of their stance and posture.
Joe Joyce's base is solid. He don't let nobody get him on his back heels, and everything is shifted going forward. That's the difference between Joe Joyce and a guy like Craig Richards. Like Joe Joyce is actually using his size for good. Yeah. Craig Richards is using his size for nothing. Like he's big for no reason. He's big for no reason.
But that's where
not of them, no.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where we can tell the opponent, because obviously we can see he has size. So I'm very sure his corner, his team, they've got him in fights that he's won to use his size to his advantage, coming behind his own jab, trying to land the right hand, things like that. But if you're fighting a guy that's not challenged by your size, that size will work against you if you got to do it off the back foot. And that's how the easiest way to believe we break this fight down. Richards will be on the back foot. And at some point in time, in my estimation, Buatsi's power is going to get home and make a difference in the fight.
Craig Richards does have power as well, though. They both got very good chin.
I'm edging Buatsi, looking at everything. Because, again, you don't need a lot of film work. Because you can see almost what somebody's good at, seeing when they're in their bad form. Because we just saw Benavidez. He just lost, but we saw him do good things in that loss.
Yo, Blunt is the coolest dude I know. Yo. You saw him Benavidez.
I know what I mean, man. That's the homie, man. I'm like, damn. But even in that loss, he did good things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I think, y'all made me forget my chain of thought.
Let me get these comments real quick, bro. Will Stokes, he lost because he got hugely outboxed. Richards did better at outboxing Bivol than Canelo did.
I don't think he outboxed because he's bigger.
No, he didn't.
I don't think he outboxed
Bivol covered up. That's not outboxing somebody.
Yeah. Andre Southgate, I agree. Vlog, his accuracy is off.
I just think Bivol had more respect for Richards than Canelo. If you look at it, bro, at some points Bivol didn't really show much respect to Canelo, whereas when you look at he fought the way he fought Craig Richards, especially in the early part of the fight, he was a little bit cautious to counter the jab. As the fight got on, he did, but because of how long Craig Richards' arms are, and going into the fight, he's fighting up and he's not fighting down, he wasn't so active. As the fight progressed, he became active. So I just felt like that just came down to respect,
Yeah, he treated Canelo like a 175 pounder supposed to. You're the smaller dude, the shorter dude. You're not fucking with me, and I'm gonna show you through this whole fight. And that's how Bivol treated it. You know what I'm saying? Andre Southgate, Richards will have to throw a Marquez shot and hope it lands. If not, I don't see him winning on points. I agree with that 100%.
A Marquez shot is a shot that he actually has to try and land, because it's the shot that you try and walk a dude onto. You try and walk a dude onto that backhand, and you can hopefully catch him because he does have the power. And a lot of people talk about that, and I feel like landing a perfect shot is more down to design than luck. If you think about it, landing that perfect money sweet shot, majority of the time it's down to design than actual luck.
Hey, Shane, can I follow up with that real quick? When a guy lands a Marquez type shot, 9 times out of 10, their weight is going forward and all of their weight is into the shot. I've never. Craig Richards very rarely has all his weight into a shot. So so even if he catches Buatsi, I would highly doubt he got maximum leverage on the shot. That's why I really got questions on how effective he can be in this fight.
I think when you take that point on board, I think the then biggest shot then he's gonna be able to land is the left hook on the way out, because Blunt brought up a good point, which is when he does get caught, Buatsi, he does shield up. Why I feel like that left hook on the way out could also land is because when Buatsi does do that fake Philly shell that he does, if Craig Richards could catch him on the way in with a right hand, it might not knock him out or get hurt him. But what happens is it might cause Craig Richards to shell up or just go into that Philly shell. When you leave with that left hook out the back door, automatically the person is now trying to follow you. They're trying to track you. And when they're trying to track you, they lose balance. They fall over their front foot trying to chase you, especially someone like Buatsi who throws power punches from outside. So when you're throwing power punches from outside, your balance isn't all the way there. If you can catch a dude with that leading left hook on the way back, you can transfer that weight into the shot. That's a shot we see quite regular. Kind of look like what Floyd done to Ricky Hatton when he caught him with that left hook, that check left hook on the way in. That's a shot that you can land on your way out with your weight going backward.
Yeah, I think they both have their own individual footwork issues. Buatsi could win this fight clean if he fights a disciplined fight. But when have we seen Buatsi fight a disciplined fight? Full 12, like never. So he's gonna have an opportunity. Andre Southgate, Joyce is slow but very accurate. Yeah, that's because his feet. You know
And
what I'm
he's got a
saying?
great understanding of distance.
He's probably top 5 in the sport at that. And he don't get a lot of credit for it, but he's top 5 in the sport actually judging distance.
Him and Errol Spence are the first two that come to mind.
Yeah,
I
and it's
think
their feet.
Errol Spence's number understanding of distance is probably the best in the sport.
And you notice all those guys, they feet solid base. You know what I'm saying? It's not too wide, it's not too tight. Solid base, and they can do everything off of that base. They can pivot off that base, they can come forward off the base, they can get out of range off that base, that same base. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Vlog.
Appreciate you. You know what I mean? I seen y'all doing y'all 1-2. It's a nice tennis match going on there. But anyway, y'all want to know how Richards can win this fight? What he would have to do is step on that jab, double up, double up, double up, double up. Once he finds the proper range, then you follow with the right hand. 1-2, because that 1-2 could be timed by a young athletic guy in Buatsi. Even though he's not super athletic, he does have some athleticism. So what you want to do if you Richards, this is the first minute of the fight, about 10 jabs, doubled up. So that's 5 sets. Then you find your range for the right hand. Once you find your range for the right hand, you turn that into a lead. And that allows you to be defensive, keeping your hand home, leaning, and throwing that over the top. You see what I mean? So you got to pressure a guy that wants to bring you pressure. So you break him early by stepping to him. That's how I see Richards to win this fight. He got to break this young dude early in the fight, between 1 and 3, to make this young boy be like, damn, I can't keep coming forward because I'm running into shit. So he's again, like we said, if you hit him, he resets. Hold up, shit. I gotta start, do this all over again. Pressing.
Why do we not see fights like this in America, where you got two up and coming prospects, or not prospects, but fighters who are on their way up, fight each other in America? We see that quite often in the UK.
I thought we just saw that last week. With the young bantamweights coming up on Showtime.
Couple guys see it in the States. You just see it in smaller weight classes.
Who did you say? Who did you just say? I didn't hear. Blunt.
It was bantamweights, 122. Puerto Rican cat, Mexican guy. They name slipped my mind.
I mean, the reason why I say that is because, like, you see, I remember, like, growing up, and Hatman brought this up this week, which I thought was a good point. We saw, like, Groves versus James DeGale, like, when they were both under 10 fights. You know, we saw Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yard the other day. We saw Dylan White versus Anthony Joshua before they had 20 fights. You know, you see these things happen. You know, Isaac Chamberlain, Lawrence Okoli. You know, this happens where we put our two best young dudes up against each other and they fight. And
I think it's culture. Just that's UK's culture. Um, when they feel like it's the right time for two guys to get it on, it really don't matter what else is going on. Like they're gonna make it happen. In the US, it's a little bit different though. So you got more hands in the pot with US fighters than you do UK fighters. There's more hands in the pot. You got the manager, then you got to deal with the promoter, then you got the
Lawyers.
financial investors and things like that. There's a lot more hands in the pot for someone to say no on the US side versus the UK side. It's less red tape over there in the UK if they want to get two of their
yeah,
prospects together.
that's a
That's my
fact. That's a
personal
fact.
opinion.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Will Stokes, he said Errol Spence understanding the distance
I,
better
I,
than Usyk.
I would say so because I wouldn't even say Usyk's understanding of distance is what gets his shots off. This is angles. He creates more angles than any other fighter in the sport. Like this dude fights at so much different angles. It's not even about distance. If you watch when Usyk fought Bradis' understanding for distance in that fight was much better than Usyk's. It's just
I
that Usyk
gotta
fight at
disagree
angles.
with you on that, young buck. You forgetting about a guy that was known to do that before Usyk was really on the worldwide map. He might have been boxing, but he wasn't on the worldwide map the way he is now, and that's Lomachenko, a guy that
But they
uses
both
angle.
got the same. They both got the same trainer, so.
I mean, but he was doing it first, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say they were both doing it from the amateurs. They both had the same trainer they've been fighting with
Nobody
the
doing
same.
angles like Loma, because you can't tell me a big dude going tilt and lean the way a little dude is, and be
But the
able to
fact
put torque on it.
but
And
the fact that Usyk was able to
I
do it.
know we could go around about in circles on this one, but I just brought up his
But
name.
either way, my point is that it was more about Usyk's angles than his actual understanding of distance. I would say Errol Spence has better understanding of distance than Usyk. I would personally say that.
Yeah, I think Spence just he gets so much done with such little wasted movement.
I was just about to say that. That's the
Like
problem.
I would say probably the reason I would put Spence over Loma is because Loma at times gives me too much. He goes overload with it. You know what I'm saying? But when you that gifted, I get it. You know what I mean? He's
And
gifted with the footwork.
if
He's
you keep
gifted
it
with it.
real though, if you keep it real, Loma wastes punches as well. Loma wastes lots of punches. Usyk wastes lots of punches. They waste lots of punches. So I wouldn't even say it's their understanding of the distance. That's what I say. If you watch Usyk versus Bradis, watch that fight war. Bradis had way better understanding of distance than Usyk. It's just that Usyk throw much more punches from different angles. I would say Errol Spence is number one by my eyes. There's nobody in the sport that throws better that has a better understanding. And I've said this numerous times on this podcast as well. There's no one who I personally believe has better um understanding of distance than Errol Spence. And I have to give that dude credit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think Spence. I actually agree with that. Andre Southgate, Paul Williams is the best at measuring distance, stays away from the big fight, keeps a long distance from fighting the big
Got
fights.
clip though. Got
That's funny.
clip. Got
No,
clip.
you're not listening to what he's saying. You're not listening to what he's
I
saying.
see,
He's calling this dude a
again.
duck. He's calling him a duck. He's saying he's keeping distance away from big
Yeah,
fights.
that's funny. That's funny.
Oh,
That's funny.
okay.
That was a little slick joint. I like that. Will Stokes,
Oh,
Dubois,
that
Joyce,
was reading it
Fowler.
terribly.
Huh?
You were reading it so terribly, it was hard to understand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, your processing might have been a little slow too. Will Stokes, I'll try to work on it though, bro. Dubois, Joyce, Fowler, Fitzgerald, Cash, Bentley, Taylor, some others you didn't
David.
mention,
Yeah.
two from recent times. Yeah, it's just less red tape out there in the UK. I can't lie. Every time I watch Errol Spence, I always feel like he's not as good as everyone says, but maybe I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
You're
You're damn
definitely,
crazy.
you're definitely
You're
crazy.
crazy,
I
boy.
Will Stokes. Let me break something down to you in regards to Spence. He is the epitome of basic skills, like to the max. So the most effective way to throw your shots and land your shots is keep them short, keep them compact.
Keep him
Let him
straight.
keep him straight. So even when he throws his hooks, everything is compact, short. So he's getting maximum torque on those shots. And then with his jab, it's straight down the line. So even if he's shooting it to the chest, it's straight down the line. And again, his base is so good. He can play defense off of the jab, and he can start throwing other shots off the jab. His basics is impeccable, bro. It's impeccable.
Exactly. It's phenomenal. He's got a good high guard, very good chin, very good strength.
Can
You
I
know, I
say
mean,
this real quick? Do you know what beats excellence at basics? Athleticism. That's what I think Crawford
no,
needs to be relying
no,
on in this fight.
that is
He
a
has to be more athletic.
that is a great point. But I feel like the reason why I would say, to me, what there's flaws in Errol Spence's game that Terence Crawford can exploit. But the problem is, it's all about the mental side of Crawford going into the fight. Because to me, I still feel
No,
Errol Crawford.
that's with every fight though, Shane. But we just saying y'all giving this dude props for what he does best, and y'all just said this dude's basics is the elite in the sport. Okay, what beats somebody that's good at basics? Somebody that's athletic, somebody that can jump higher, somebody that can run faster, can beat the guy that's fundamentally sound, runs the playbook accordingly, that sort of guy. So that's all I'm chiming in with. I don't know that Crawford is more athletic, but he's shown it. He's thrown punches at different angles. He does different things in the ring. He's not the most athletic guy in boxing. He's no Zab Judah, in my estimation. Maybe at 140 was more similar to Zab with that natural athleticism, counter punching, you know what I mean, throwing at different angles, things like that, and setting traps, being patient and strong. He just got to be smarter with his athleticism because he's older. So
No, that's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely can say that, especially with the athleticism. Is this with a guy with the athleticism? They have to that athleticism has to be elite over the guy
And
that has the basics.
to me, it's the discipline, bro. Because Errol Spence is a dog, and just because a lot of dudes who are athletic, they get caught in dog fights. You know, they end up holding their feet a little bit too long because they're in love with their strength, or they're in love with their speed, or they're in love with their power. And we even
that's
see
some
that
silly shit.
do that sometimes. And I feel like it's about being disciplined. Like, you've got to be willing to stick to the game plan. Because to me, Terence Crawford could just fight off the back foot and box. But the truth is, this dude is going to want to go in there and show that he's a dog as well. He's going to want to be a man. He's going to want to prove that he's physically strong. He's got the power. He's got the athletic. He's got the strength. He can stand up with Spence. You know, he's going to want to show that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like so Will, just to kind of sum it up, like there's a lot of reasons why Spence is great. And everybody doesn't have to be super athletic to be great, but a lot of the basics that boxers need, Spence has it. And he's been fighting that way since the amateurs. So he's been sticking to the script his entire career, man. Will Stokes, like to me, Crawford Spence is an easy fight to
It ain't
call.
easy to call for me. That ain't
Ah,
easy to
that
call for
ain't
me. I
it
don't know
ain't
what this dude's
it
talking. I
ain't
ain't
no.
easy
I
to
To
call
be
for me.
honest with you, it's not an easy fight to call for me, because I'm like, Bud can make this fight extremely difficult for himself,
Mm-hmm.
or he could he could kind of run away with it too if he could.
Will Stokes is disregarding the mental side of things. I feel like that's what he's not paying into attention. Boxing is mental, and he doesn't understand. I feel like Will Stokes, you kind of take boxing a little bit, and it's funny. I'm telling you this because you proved to
I
me
mean,
that you can predict fights, but you're taking fights too much at face value, and I wouldn't do that if I was you.
what you want to say in a fight like this? How if you want to talk about it mentally, you got to give Bud the mental edge because Bud has literally been at the top of the food chain in boxing longer. Might not have received the financial blessings, but accomplishments have been a little bit longer than Spence. Spence is in the recent, what you got to say, the last 6 years really has kind of implemented himself. We got to go 10 back for Bud. We got to go 12 back for Bud. You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but can I tell you why I'm saying that the mental aspect for Bud is a problem? Because I've seen Bud make fights harder than it needs to be. Bud can win every single fight just clean sweeping, but I see this dude make fights deliberately hard for himself to prove points. Like I remember when he fought Jeff Horn, and he wanted to prove to everyone that he was physically stronger and physically had more power than Jeff Horn, when all he needed to do was box. And I feel like this is going to be the same thing in this fight because everyone keeps talking about Errol Spence size advantage, strength advantage. And to me, Crawford's going to want to go in there and prove that he's as physically strong and as physically powerful as Errol Spence. When to me, mentally, that he doesn't need to give that up. All you need to do is just box. And that's what I'm saying about being disciplined. Sometimes your emotional attachment to something, because we can't all act like Terence Crawford hasn't fallen in love with his power. This dude hasn't gone the distance at 147, and he's going to want to continue that. So that's what I mean, the mental aspect, being disciplined.
That's what I'm trying to say. Discipline also equivalates to his mental IQ. He's always been the smarter guy. So even when you said he did something that you don't believe he done, he was probably being the smarter guy, knowing I got to show that I can do this. So these other guys come in here thinking they can bully me. This may be your result of thinking you could come bully me at 147. So I think that was a IQ in the ring that he said, I'm going to turn on right now. I'm going to turn up right now.
But
So
what if you think
I'm giving him the IQ edge because his IQ has just been proven a little longer.
But what if he makes that mistake? What if he makes that mistake with Errol Spence saying, I want to prove to you that you can't bully me? That's where the problem is. Because to me, Errol Spence is physically stronger than Crawford. Errol Spence.
But what about saying you can't bully me? That's what I'm saying. But what about saying you can't bully me on some Floyd Mayweather type shit? Pivoting, sliding.
He can do that, and I hope he tries to do that. But I don't think Errol Crawford is going to do that. Because you got to remember, there's a lot of ego in this fight, bro. There's a lot of ego in this fight. If Crawford went out there and ran,
hold up. To counter your ego point is to say you can make somebody look bad to prove you had the better ego, a la Floyd. If I make you look stupid, defensively, you see what I'm saying? So there's some.
I don't see that as Crawford, though. I'm being honest. I don't see that as Crawford. Crawford is a dude who's going to want to go out there, in my eyes, and I could be wrong, but he's going to want to go out there and prove a point and get in a dogfight. And I don't want to see him do that because I think he can win this fight easier. But I just feel like, judging by how Crawford's speaking and how Crawford's been behaving in his last few fights, that's how I feel like Crawford's going to fight in this fight. And I feel like that's why this fight is a 50-50 fight to me, because he's fighting Errol Spence's style. Errol Spence is going to want him to stand right in the pocket. As Blunt says, he can pivot, slide, do Floyd Mayweather skills, and he wins this fight easy, 9-3, 10-2. But I don't think he's going to want to do that. He's going to want to try and knock Spence out, and that's the problem.
Hold on, I gotta accept this before. Go ahead.
Is he smart enough to wait for that time, to wait for that perfect shot that kind of gets Spence's attention? Now he can go on the attack. See, you looking at it as if he's just gonna go straight into a dogfight, toe to toe, swing for swing. May he set that up? May he be smart enough, athletic enough to get the counter punch? Then he can really put the foot on the gas and open up. Well, you know what I mean? That's what makes it a 50-50 fight.
Exactly.
Dude, Jeff.
I I think another thing people not paying attention to is actually if Bud fights Southpaw the whole fight, Spence is not used to fighting other Southpaws. That's an adjustment that's going to have to be made by Spence as well. And Crawford's Southpaw game is mean. You know what I mean? So a lot of the things that Spence is able to do in terms of getting his foot on the outside and cutting guys off, things like that, things that he's really good at. If Bud is fighting in his Southpaw stance, that completely changes everything.
That's
And I don't know
right.
when the last I don't know when the last time Spence has actually fought a good Southpaw. But Southpaws are not used to fighting Southpaws. You know what I mean? So that
The
is
last
advantage
southpaw
Crawford.
I heard him fight was Van Herden. That was the last
And
one he fought.
yeah, and that didn't really go too well for Van Heerden. And it was quick, but I don't think he's fought a solid southpaw in his career, to be honest with you.
But then what was
Um,
the last time Crawford fought a southpaw?
that's a good question. But the thing is, because he's naturally orthodox, I think Bud can adjust a little quicker uh, than Spence does in
Who's
that
leading?
situation.
To me, it's gonna be a battle of whose leading hand is stronger because they both got real good leading hand.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that can get broken
It's
down
gonna be a
between
catch
both
and shoot
guys.
fight to me, bro. It's gonna be a
I
catch and
agree with
shoot
that.
fight.
Right.
I agree with
Spence
The
that.
reason
going
why I don't think it's
more
gonna
kind
be
of
like that
catch.
because Errol Spence likes you to finish your combinations before you get your shots off, before he gets his shots off. So he likes to set and reset. So to me, I feel like it's more gonna be about for one, it depends on what Crawford does. Like Jeff brought this up the other day with another fight that we were calling, and it's gonna be the same with this fight. Errol Spence is gonna need Crawford's help to win this fight. Errol Spence is gonna need Crawford's help to win this fight because Crawford fight sometimes way too like Crawford to me, he can beat everyone in the division if he just like when I watched how he fought against Postal, I haven't seen that Crawford performance. Where the dude's just fighting off the back foot, walking dudes onto shots, moving around the ring. I don't see that Crawford anymore. I see a dude who walks in and he's always trying to get a stoppage. And that's the problem. Like I love Crawford, one of my favorite fighters, but this is why I'm thinking the Errol Spence fight. I want to see more postal. I want to see a dude who's using more lateral movement, pivoting, circling. If he uses that, it ain't gonna be no catch and shoot. It's gonna be Errol Spence trying to catch a dude that ain't there. That's what it's gonna be. I saw Mikey Garcia use lateral movement against Errol Spence, and Errol Spence. I'm not gonna say he struggled because he won every single round, but he didn't at one point stop Mikey Garcia in his tracks. He didn't stop Mikey Garcia's movement. That's my point. Whereas I feel like Crawford can exploit that, especially being southpaw also.
Um, yeah, I think Bud feet is the key in the fight, whether he
Mm-hmm.
wins or loses. I feel like his feet is key in the fight. If he don't use his feet correctly, Spence can easily 8-4, 9-3 Bud. He can easily do that. But if Bud feet is on point and we talking postal on point, it could be that same scorecard the other way. This is what makes it a 50-50 fight. I don't think Spence can walk in and do typical Spence and win this fight. I think he's gonna have to show a little bit more in that bag.
Especially that transitional speed. He's gonna need much more feet transition speed, like the speed
I,
for going from defense to offense in terms of transitioning on the inside. He's gonna have to
I,
be much better in terms of his foot adjustment.
I want to ask y'all this before I move forward. Um, do y'all get the sense in social media land, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like people don't allow you to be a fan of both? Like you have to be either Spence or Crawford. Like I I personally run into like chat rooms and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, like Bud is a great fighter. This, and this, and then they'll come in my neck.
I,
Yo,
I,
Spence gonna do this. Spence, I'll be like, whoa, hold on. I'm like, I'm a fan of both of them. Like, let's get it
I,
clear.
I, I had that. I had more of that when I used to deal with AJ and Wilder. You could not be a AJ. I was a heavy Wilder fan and a heavy AJ fan, and I felt like I couldn't be both. I don't really
Yeah.
feel. maybe because I'm not in the maybe because I'm in the UK, it's a little bit different. But I don't feel it as heavy as I felt it with Wilder and Fury. With
I
Wilder and Fury, I felt like you could literally not be an AJ and Wilder fan.
actually, that's a better example. You couldn't be a Wilder and a Fury fan. Like you had
Yeah,
to be one of the
you
two.
had to
Like
be one or the other.
you could not be both. What you think, Vlog?
I agree because I wasn't on Fury's side until everything was said and done. And then, you got to be a gentleman about things and see everything ended up clean and fair the way it was. Just a better guy. So you got to kind of tip the cap to. So at the time, you
You
were
got
right. I had to be on one side or the other. But now, after the fact, I can still, gauge it and give, the dude a little tip of the cap again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good job, Fury.
we got a super chat in here as well.
Yes, sir. Andre Southgate Spence
Sunday
does the
match is
basics
solid.
very well. Doesn't waste punches, very effective. Yeah,
Fact.
Spence don't waste no punches. 9.99 super chat from Black Lightning. Big shout out to Black Lightning. I'm gonna take this $10 before you change your mind. And but he said, "Talk your shit, Shane." Got a Shane fan in the building. Big shout out
I
to Black
appreciate it.
Lightning. I don't know if you subscribe to Boxing First
Nah,
Vlog, but if not, I need for you to do so.
I've seen
Um,
him before. He used to
you
have a
seen
what's it called? He used to have
he used
a
to have a different joint, right?
yeah,
He used to
yeah,
have a
yeah.
different joint. Yeah. But I was actually I'm gonna get y'all opinion on this. Do y'all want to hold off on the Jamel Herring and Jermaine Ortiz footage for tomorrow? We can kick off with that
Yeah, we
because
can
I
say
had
that.
three of them. Yeah, I had three of them set. I had three of them set up. Jaguar, pause. What is going on? Yo, I
Long
ain't
time no
seen you in a
see,
minute.
baby.
Yeah, I ain't seen Jaguar in a minute. Big shout out to
Sup,
Jaguar.
my baby?
Now,
Yeah,
is there
yeah,
any
yeah.
Yeah,
other
man.
fights coming up this weekend?
It's
Um,
a
Babbage
shit
is
ton, bro.
fighting this week as well. Babbage, Alan Babbage.
Yeah, I said
Babbage
that
is
yesterday.
returning.
And he
Yeah.
ain't no real big favorite, bro. I done looked at the numbers. So I got to see what the bull on the other side looking at in the ring. If I can find anything, maybe read an article or two, get a little bit of info on this guy because the numbers
Bad.
look pretty close.
Yeah, Babbage is fighting this weekend. I know Richardson Hitchens is fighting this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not a
on
fan
the
of
Um,
him.
card.
I'm not a fan
He
of him
going
at
up
all.
against a bum. That's gonna be a dog
yeah.
walk. I ain't gonna say
Um,
that. Disrespect. He going up against a guy that's got a little, some wear on them tires. So I'll say that. Let me
yeah.
take that original statement back. My apologies.
We got Jean Pascal, Fan Long Ming
Hey,
this
this
That's
dude
gonna
weekend.
Ming.
that's
Listen,
gonna be a good fight. That's
listen.
gonna be a real good fight.
Now,
Trying
if
to
your
think who
boy,
else.
now this dude Ming has no jab to be found. Like I don't know if he never had one or if he forgot it in a locker room somewhere and can't find it. But he don't have no jab. I don't know if that opens the door for Pascal. You got to see where
Is
he bounces
Pascal on
back
the
from.
juice though? Is there VAR testing?
I don't know. This ain't no title fight or nothing. So
Yo, Pascal is the original Reynoso Pack. That's a
I
Reynoso.
mean,
no,
I
I like the
mean,
other one better, Jeff. You called him a walking GNC. That one better
Yeah.
right there.
wait, but Van Lomengo, he does have power. I mean, how I know
Yeah.
him because he
Oh, I'm
retired.
gonna
He
give him credit for
retired.
this too, Jay. I'm gonna
He
give
he,
him
re-
credit for this. He actually has a real check right hook. I mean, a
he
real spin off check right hook
he
with some
he
power.
retired. He retired one of the UK light heavyweights called Frank Buglioni, which is
Mm-hmm.
you put that dude in a casket.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, dude got
um,
some. I checked him out earlier. Had to do some homework. I seen him on that betting joint, so I'm gonna put together a little parlay. Boy, the bag this weekend, homie. It is so many fights. If you don't get a minimum of 2 bags, just step back and listen to the experts, and then dive back in.
how much
If
money you putting down, blood?
I had to see, man. I just got some bad news, but still, good news because you don't want to see me about no money issues. So, what I'm saying? People gonna handle their business, but it's just gonna be a little bit, a day or so. But anyway, I might start with a couple stacks, a couple units. let that matriculate because we starting Friday night.
This nigga say matriculate.
Yeah,
Yo, he'll
take
give
baby
you yo,
steps.
he'll
Tell
give you
you.
words. He'll give you words like that and then fuck a last name up like nobody's business.
Bro, the
You know?
craziest thing is, yeah, he said it so fly, you would have thought that was a real word.
It is. It's matriculation, baby.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? That's not even a real word, but I know what it means. That's the
Yeah. Right.
Timestamp that. Timestamp that, Jeff. Oh,
that's
shit.
a timestamp. It's
No,
like an hour,
bro,
50
the
minutes.
way it's set up, the way boxing is set up for this weekend, you can actually kind of, you know what I mean, hit them here, double up, kind of roll back, hit them in the afternoon, and we got Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? So I think we good for being able to have a little come up. If you at the right and you know what I mean, you spread your money around and put them parlays together properly. I wouldn't single bet nobody because the most beneficial way to be economical about it is to parlay 3, 4. You know what I mean? Just the right guys, because you can always slip an underdog in there and really, you know, crack the house with that sledgehammer. They'll be like, this motherfucker, who he know?
Right.
I mean, is there any upsets on the card? What would you say is the most likely upset this week?
Hold on, let me run through these 4 real quick. Black Lightning said I'm already.
I gotta go do some homework to answer my dude question.
He said I'm already sub. We figured that, bro. I think you had a different thumbnail when you first started coming in. Jaguar said busy working. He said busy working, but have the channel in mind. Big shout out to you. Appreciate that. Black Lightning laughed. He said he thought we were going to let that pass. Nah, my boy. Yeah. Hey man. Yeah. Man, we gotta get that on it. We gotta get that on it. Yo, if Vlog could come out with a whole clothing line full of like sayings and shit. Yeah, like just different sayings and shit.
It's me, baby. What can I say?
You know what we need? We need a, you know how you got like a Oxford dictionary? We need a Blunt dictionary. BoxingFirstVlog dictionary.
Man, how to properly fuck up somebody's name.
Yeah, that is crazy, man.
Right on top, Shane, you asked for an underdog, and I'm gonna give you one right now. I like this boy, Baluta. Is this guy
Who's he fighting?
He fighting this boy, somebody beat Foster, but I seen the highlight. I don't know how to, they from over here, black man. But
who's Brad Foster?
Yeah,
he right.
Oh yeah, Brad Foster and Baluta. That's a 50-50 fight.
That's not
an
underdog. Not an upset. Yeah, it ain't no underdog though. It's 50-50.
Bro, it is too. It's minus 107 plus 107. How is that 50-50?
Mine say minus 120. Mine say minus 120, minus 106.
That's not 50 still.
That, I mean, what we saying? 51, 30, 50,
that's 51-49. Yeah, that's 51-49.
I get one. You didn't say how much.
I'm trying to make a stack. You're trying to make a stack. What's a good underdog to put in a party?
Okay, hold on. A stack. Now you said a stack. Let's see. Ain't too many big underdogs. I need to see some film on the boy Balowski, but the numbers is saying he not that far behind, and that's against Babbage. Now I had to do.
Okay, go on. I mean, but Babbage is coming off a bad performance.
That's what I said. And this guy as an underdog, and you said somebody that'll bring you a bag, he plus 360. It's a half a bag.
Yeah, that's a good underdog. What about what's Richards on this?
Richards is
plus 440.
Bro, why did you that's a good thing to bring up. I mean,
I think like I said, at the way I analyze him winning, that's still a way he can lose. Remember, I said he's a guy that
if you put him in a parlay with $25, bro, That's you're making easy $200 if
I
you
mean,
put him on the
now
parlay.
that's what I said. Now, you want to again? I would recommend if you want to single bet something. These are type single bet underdogs. You would probably throw something, low on where it's not a heavy loss, but it's a profitable win. And a quarter piece, like Shane just said, 50 piece. You know what I mean? Half a unit. Those are good underdogs to bet on where it's still profitable. But if you lose, so be it.
Bro, I
You
can't
ain't
wait
you
till we
worried about
announce what we announce, bro. Because these are the type of conversations we're gonna be having every
Yeah,
single
I can't
day.
even. Yeah, like I can't even really get into it like I want to, like,
I'm
because
not trying to name drop no.
I'm not name dropping no one until we got a new candidate and we got to see if that flow through correctly. Former candidate was just on some
off
bullshit.
camera, tell me who the new person is, because
Yeah,
this shit getting on my nerves. I need somebody to line up with anyway, because like I said, your boys FanDuel, man, they the worst when it comes to our sport, but they the most well-known one. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
and yeah, bro, I can't. It's frustrating, bro, because I'm like, if we would have known what we known right now, we would have had everything up probably about 2 months ago.
Literally, like we basically
We
been
wasted
like
about 2 months worth of
a
time.
an established company wasted 2 months of our time.
Yeah,
Like
but
literally the
So
biggest
what we
waste of
and the
do?
time.
thing is, you don't get time back. That's the
Literally.
problem. You don't get time back, man. So I might we gonna move forward. Hopefully, this other situation will come through, and then we can really do things the way we want to do it, and actually have betting shows and things like that. I'm actually thinking about setting up, and it's gonna be like a premium service, but basically have something set up where people that's rocking with us can actually message us off tilt, if they got questions in regards to certain bets and things
Yeah.
like that.
And
Have a
obviously
message board
We
for that.
started the show with this.
Blunt's got his real exclusive. Blunt's got his real exclusive. That's the game changer right there.
Check
Yeah.
this out, man. I did this to start the show, and I'm gonna just do it again. I called the boy Scaldinari getting his bell rung against that 10 fight losing underdog in Calalalsis. I called it. So y'all gotta tap in and get the gems over here, man.
What
And
fight was that?
you got a couple chips, huh?
What fight was that?
That was the EBU super middleweight championship.
And the dude was on a 10-fight losing streak.
Check my IG, bro. I had to just repost it to tell these guys, man, you gotta tap in and I hashtagged it.
What the hell did you see in a dude that had a 10-fight losing streak that made you predict that?
That he had not been stopped but one
Oh,
time
fair
and 10
enough.
losses. So you talking about a guy that's taking a step up when it comes to experienced veterans. You have been knocking out guys that got some wear and tear on them that weren't very experienced. This have been experienced. So
No, I get you.
when I say he got the break feet off of him, that Italian dude, Scardini, he got the breaks. He started off well too. He was trying to shoot.
Was this the zone card?
I do believe it was the zone card Friday.
Scardina. Scardina lost.
I called it. You don't want to listen to me though.
Did you put money on it? Did you put money on it?
It was on a parlay, but your boy from Australia fucked my ticket off. The boy
How much
Allen.
did you won?
I'd have hit for like 15.
And how much is the Scardina? How much is the Scardina fight?
I can't remember that individual fight, but it was on the parlay.
That must have been a big part of the Scardina. That must have been a big one because Scardina was a heavy favorite.
Yeah, I'm sure he was at an undefeated fighter going up against somebody 10-0. Yeah, but I put it on the parlay.
Hey Shane, you know the one I missed.
Yeah, you missed Bacoli and Yoka.
Bro.
Dude, that was 9-1.
I didn't even call that one either though. I ain't gonna lie. I was so with all them other fights. I had did the Australian card, calling them
Jeff would
joint,
have
but
put
the
at
boy
least, Jeff
Dallas
would
fucked my
have put
shit
at
off.
least a 2-piece on. He would have put at least
Yeah,
a 2-piece. Oh,
I'd have
one.
I'd have
So
put at
you
least a
single
band
fight.
on
See,
that.
Jeff out there big ball and shot calling, you know, advancing to the next level in the game. See, I'm a parlay guy.
Blunt, you know what is the G5 Just TV checks pay long, you know. We down in the
I,
pay slips, bro.
bro,
Hey, man,
but
I'm in the
listen,
mail
listen.
room of the corporation.
But here's the thing, though. Like, this is the thing. Like, the thing that's crazy is like once we get this situation set up, it's gonna be so crazy because I'm like, so many people fuck with us when they come down to sports betting anyway. We gonna be the only people that's not actually in that realm. Like our realm is boxing, but you can literally hit us up off camera, like, yo, what you think about this joint or whatever,
Can
and literally had that as a premium service, like literally.
Jeff, tell them what my name is when it comes to that sports parlay betting. I am the one lost wonder, boy. Jeff, 2 days in a row this week, nigga. 2 17ers lost one on the team parlays, man. I'm so good.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like it's crazy, but we got so much like cooking. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Blunt get busy, and Shane get busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Shane get busy. Like,
I mean, I ain't placed a bet in a long time because personally, I have very bad luck when it comes to bet. I will bet someone. That's why I can't wait till Blunt's idea comes up because I'd rather bet someone face to face that I know. Like, I'll bet Jeff anytime about a bit or YSM or anyone, but actually betting on odds. To me, betting is all about bragging rights. It's not so much about the money. It's about the bragging rights behind it. Like, I wish I placed a bet about Bivol.
Listen. I'm not. This is a one-time thing because I'm not really rocking with them. We're not gonna rock with this company going forward. But if y'all need to know, like we get busy over here. Like, so I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Now this is within 48 hours. This is within 48 hours. No boxing involved. Like, this not even counting the bag we gonna get this weekend with Blunt. Hold on. Let me show y'all real quick. Hold on, real quick. What they say in the corner?
I can't read.
It came up, man. I can't see shit.
You can't see that?
1,500.
Yeah, that's in 48 hours. That's off 150
That's how you
though.
do it, like what?
That's off $150. So we don't play no games.
But when I landed in Philadelphia, the day after I landed in Philadelphia, this nigga was picking up a check.
I took the little homie to the casino. I picked up. I think it was like 1,100. So like 10, 11, 1,200. Yeah. Hold on, Jack.
I'm trying to make $1 million off this boxing. I'm not as good as Jeff with the other stuff, but I do go on my parlay runs. But I just feel like that one dude.
Bro, if you
he tell him Jeff, king of the one losers, man.
Yo, Blunt will have like a 10-person parlay and go 9-1 and shit. Like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like,
but
it's
you know
really
what,
crazy.
Blunt? You know, I actually feel like Blunt probably wins more bets than you, but he probably doesn't. When I mean bets, like individual bets.
Yeah, it's just
nigga, car note, house note. I can't do it like that.
Blunt wins. He actually wins more individual bets than I do.
Blunt, were you penny betting?
Yeah, he like Blunt and hit Blunt.
I'm a unit and under. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not 150. I'm a unit. That's a stack.
Blunt,
and then I kind of play in that ball field to stay afloat. My bad. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Yo, Blunt that quarter slot machine at the casino, man, and he'll hit big off of that. I'm like betting I'm at the dollar joints betting max. Like that's me. Like, so it's like he wins more actual like individual bets. It's
Here
just when I hit is a sledgehammer.
You want to say poker table levels? I'm at the 1-2. Jeff probably at the the 412. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm at the
saying?
412. Right. I'm at the 412.
1, 2. Trying to put 500 together. Take a little longer. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, he blunt, but that just goes to show I'm like it's two different betting styles. It's like you want to go the blunt route if you got like $50 and you trying to,
How far is Atlantic City from Philadelphia?
the way I drive, 45 minutes.
Yeah, about an hour 15 if you do the speed
Yeah.
limit.
Yeah, if you do the speed limit, about an hour. About an hour. You know what I'm saying? You should be parking and going into the casino within an hour. Going out there to Atlantic City. But a blunt, what's the most you ever seen somebody collect at a casino? At the sports betting window? Yeah.
When I was in Vegas, I pulled out of there with 12.
Who pulled out with 12?
Yeah, 12,000.
You did?
Had to do all that tax shit. That's when you know you bringing the stack. When you got to sit there and fill out that tax paperwork, you walking out of there with a stacking up.
Was that you left with 12?
You left with 12?
Yeah, I left with 12.
No, I said, what's the most you ever seen somebody else walk out with?
I could say I've seen people in there cashing in like $100,000 tickets, but I haven't seen them witness get the money. Obviously, you going to the bag and all of that. But at 12, I got mine right there. The security guard stood by my side, and I did my little, process paperwork. I didn't have to go to the back because it wasn't.
Are you allowed to go into a casino with a firearm?
No. Hell no.
So how did that work, bro?
In there, you good?
They security. So security. Yeah.
So how did that work, bro?
What, for me?
Yeah.
I leave it in the room.
Yeah, you gotta leave. Yeah, so basically, Shane, like if you win a certain amount and you staying at the casino, you get escorted. You get escorted by security to your room. Yeah.
No, I just mean if you're going casino off the street.
Like
nah, you gotta leave that in the car or something. You gotta leave that in the car. You gotta leave that in the whip.
Well, yeah, back east, everything gotta be in the car. But out in Vegas, I wouldn't carry it around in the hotel I'm gambling in because they have their own security. But when I'm leaving, I get to go walk out the casino and throw that thing on the hip and keep two-stepping. You feel me?
Yeah, I think the most.
So you still get to protect your own money to a certain extent.
The most I seen a dude cash out without going to the back was like 35 racks. And we was at
what's the most you seen someone leave?
The most I've seen someone lose, like just combined, bro. I seen a dude, right? I'll never forget this story, yo. He's in Atlantic City. I think we was at Bayless. I was a young dude, I was a young buck back then. So all I did was roulette, and I did roulette, and that was it. So this dude, we had the crap table, right? This dude hit a bet. I think he won like 5,000, something like that. So I'm like, yo, I'm a young dude. I'm like, yo, take that 5 and you know what I'm saying? Head to the window. Yo, this dude told me, he said, yo, I gotta hit about 10 more of those before I get back to even. I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I said, what? Like, yeah, like, and the thing that was so crazy, I was staying at the casino. So I left the crap table at, I would say maybe like midnight. I came back down there 11 o'clock the next morning. That man was still down there, bro. That man was still down there, bro. Like when I say I got a story, you know who would be a great person to talk to in terms of gambling stories? Matt, we all from.
Oh, seriously?
I got he's the first of all, he's one of the funniest dudes I ever met in my life. We went to high school together. Like he is funny as hell. Like when I say he got stories for days, he got stories for days. I'm talking bad beats, all that. I'm gonna get him to come on when we actually launch. When we gonna launch, I'm gonna get on here. I'm gonna get him on here, and I'm gonna tell him to give his top 5 bad beats that he's had. He funny as fuck. Like Matt funny.
Let me give you one from a hood perspective. I knew a dude in the town who was so bad at gambling, he went from moving 200 bricks a week, not cocaine, but bricks of the trees and shit, to about year or so later, flipping nickel sacks. This
Right.
how bad at gambling this dude was, bro. I'm talking shooting dice, football games, all hood betting. Because Cali, back in the day, we never had betting the way we know it now, all online, all of that. So they did the little football parlay cards that went around through the mailman, things like that. So we bet like that in the hood. But this dude was so bad, he went to moving from 200 bricks of weed a week out of town, blah, blah, blah. However you do it in the streets back in the day, no name. So, you know what I mean? No charges on nobody, no smoke from nobody. But he was so bad that he went from that to flipping nickel sacks of Bama. And we smoked dank in the town. You know what I'm saying? So he went from moving dank to flipping nickel sacks of Bama, bro. Terrible gambling. Very terrible.
It's crazy, yo. It's crazy, bro. Like we've seen some real like bad situations, man. Like we've seen some bad
Like
situations.
the thing is, out here, bookies, like we actually have bookies. So you guys have like FanDuel, my bookie, and all of that stuff. We actually have stores. Like there's a place, especially where I live, where I come from. There's a place. There's 4 bookies itself, not casinos, bookies, just sports bookies on one street. Bookies in this country is massive. Like there's like, as I was saying, Jeff, there's on this street, like literally 15 minutes up the road, 4 bookies on one street. Like they're literally 15, 20 minutes apart. Bro, these places are full of people. Bro, it's like rain, sleet, sunshine, snow, bro, full of people, bro. And in the UK, bro, let me tell you how bad gambling is in terms of an addiction. Bro, you know they serve breakfast in the bookies. Breakfast and tea in the bookies and dinner in the bookies, bro. Because people are there from day till night.
Oh, listen.
They serve breakfast and dinner in the bookies.
I ain't gonna lie.
Not a casino.
A bookie spot. Yeah, and the thing that's crazy, I ain't gonna sit up here and fraud. I'm like, when you into it, yo, people look at it like, oh, you know, like you got a gambling problem, this, that, and the third. It don't even be that, yo. Like you just see money. Like it's like somebody hustling. Like if you hustling out there on the block, you know what I mean, you getting it in, you're not addicted to the hustle, like you addicted to the money. The thought of you having a certain amount of bread, you're addicted to the thought. You know what I mean? Like how you get there, it's just your method.
What do people bet on the most? Out here is horse racing. Like, bro, horse racing in all of our newspapers every single day. The center section is about 2 pages, big pages. There's just different horse racing. Horse racing is the #1 thing in this country for betting. Bro, it's like one of the most watched sports in this country is horse racing.
For us, it's football, then the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I would say football, NCAA tournament. I would say probably after that, probably baseball, college basketball.
College basketball.
Yeah. I would say probably baseball after that. Now, horse racing, like when it's like the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and stuff like that, like they'll get the most betting dollars coming in on a particular day because the event is so big. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy. No, but football is once the NFL starts, it's insane, bro. Like it's insane, bro. Like it's crazy.
I think it's more football channels than it may be boxing channels.
I'm gonna show you something. Yeah. Next time I go down this street, I'm gonna film it and show it to you. How much betting shops are in close proximity of each other. Literally, if I stand here, I'll be able to see. Like when I mean their doors apart, like literally. One store down the park.
Is it like that movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
I've never watched that movie.
Man, nigga, you need to. Man, that shit was hilarious, nigga. Your boys over there, man. They stupid. But these motherfuckers was in a thing like what you saying. It's just right on the street, like a co-op. You remember back in Philly, Jeff? We had the co-ops.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Oh,
They almost
yeah.
like corner stores, like
No,
Yeah,
like
bro,
you know
poppy
what I mean?
stores.
that's exactly what it's like. That's
Okay,
Yeah.
exactly
okay.
what betting stores are like, bro. It's like a corner store, like betting store, but it's not casinos, not what you see, like what me and you
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. It's
It's
just a
just a
space.
straight, just
Yeah,
a
it's
space.
just space.
You go
Yeah.
there, you place a bet, and that's basically it, bro. And it's mainly
So,
sports betting, bro. It's crazy. And
the
dude
Is
stands
it
football
legal
shit.
outside.
or illegal?
Huh? What
Is
do you
it
say?
legal or illegal?
No, it's legal, but the thing is, they're open a certain time. But people be standing outside this store 24 hours a day, like it's
Nah,
bro,
it's
like junkies, bro. It's crazy.
it's and that's how I be saying. Like it was just like, yeah, like you're the thought, especially even if you on the block hustling, Blunt, you know this. It still take time for you to flip. Like really, sports betting is really the only thing that 20 minutes from now I can be up 5 figures if I play it right. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Like it's the only thing in the world that can actually outside of the lottery that can get you to a certain point in such little time, and that's where the hook is. Like that's literally where the hook is. It's not the sports betting is just the method. So your method could be you could be addicted to money, and your method could be working 2 9 to 5s. Like that's your method. Or it's sports betting, that's your method. Or you on the block doing what you're doing, that's your method. If it's a chick, she might be in the strip club twerking that thing, like you know what I'm saying. That might be her method. You know what I'm saying. But everybody's the same. I'm like, you're addicted to the end result. You know what I'm saying? It's just your method is what everybody sees, and they be like, "Oh, well, you're addicted to that." I'll be like, "No, like I just flipped $150 into 1,500. That's 10 times the amount. I done flipped it 10 times over in 48 hours." I'm like, my employer is not gonna pay me that in 48 hours. You
Hell
understand
no.
what I'm saying? But that's why people are in the stock
Hell
market.
no.
You know what I'm saying? That's why people are in the stock market. They doing forex
But at
trading.
the
They doing
same
options trading.
time,
All that.
bro, I've seen people lose money out of their drawers, bro. It is crazy. Like you see people flat
Dang.
broke. I've seen people bet their rent and ask for their rent back
Yeah,
because
Can
they
you
lost.
it's a
now
fact.
Shane? Now picture it. Now, do you see why I bet the way I do?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
never bet what you can't afford to lose. I can afford to drop 100 on 2 boxing bets.
Yeah.
I make 2,000, you know what I mean? X amount of dollars. Woo per check type situation. I ain't balling out the room or nothing, but I'm comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Strap game heavy.
A vlog.
I got
What's
gas
the
in it.
most? What's the most you ever put on a bet? You personally.
On this online shit, about 100.
This period. This period.
Oh,
I've bet more than
I'd
that.
have to go back to the street days. Then that take you
I,
back to the early 2000s,
I,
early
No, take
I,
it
80s.
take it back. Like, what's the most you ever put on a bet?
5 racks
the most I've ever bet on a bet,
on a
bro.
basketball game in Philly.
The
$5,000.
most I've ever
You know,
bet.
we made $5,000 in one day in those days.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
You see what I'm
yeah.
right,
saying? So,
But
right.
yeah, the most
you
I've
know,
bet and lost, and most of my big bets I lose, but the small bets I win. This is the
Right.
craziest thing.
I lost that bet too, Jeff.
When I double down and go all out, like even look at me and your boy what's it called Blaze Philly bet 500, lost 500. But I've bet more than that. I've bet 800 before and lost. I've bet heavy and lost heavy, bro.
Bro, I think the
Yeah,
most I on in the online circuit, I think I was up. I think the most I've bet on the online circuit was I think 3 racks. But it was house money though. Like
Did
I
you
was
win?
up. Nah, I was up 7. All I seen was 10 G's. I'm like, I'm gonna bet this tray ball. I'm trying to get the 10 racks. And I lost the 3. I was like, I cashed out. I cashed out the 4. So I was like, I'm either gonna walk out with 10 or I'm gonna walk out with 4. I mean, that's the most I've bet like online. Like outside of that, I would say It was yeah, 5 racks. 5 racks. And I actually hit that though. It was on a blunt. It was a college, it was a college basketball game, right? College basketball
Well, I'm
game.
gonna jump off because I actually have to do something. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
jump off.
I'm getting ready to jump off too. It
I
was a
blunt to
over
death.
under.
I'll see you guys.
All right, Shane.
All right.
It was a over under, bro. It was a over under college basketball game, and the over under was like low as hell. It was like 115 or something like that. So I had like this Canadian coin, and that shit I called it my lucky coin and shit. So shit I didn't know about, I used to flip the coin. I flip it 3 times. I'm like, if it was heads 3 times, I'm taking over. If it was tails 3 times, I'm taking under. But I had to hit it 3 straight times for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was my over
Yeah.
under coin. So it was
Yeah.
like 115. So I flip it 3 times, and they say tails 3 times. I'm like, under 115. I'm like, yo, they gotta shoot like dope shit, yo. Like, I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, but I was
They
so
pulling up in the parking lot.
yeah, I was sauced up though. And I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm just gonna drop the whole thing on it. I dropped the whole thing on it, bro. When I say I was looking at the screen like this the whole time, like I was just locked in, bro. Bro, they scored 102 points between the two teams. 102 points. I, to be honest, that was the luckiest victory I ever had in my life, bro. Like, it's no way I should have bet
Yeah,
that.
you
Like,
rolled the dice on that one, blindfolded.
yeah,
Let somebody else call it.
right. That was crazy. Jaguar Paul said Morrell versus Henderson will be a C4 bomb in the ring June 4th. Um, I I like Calvin Henderson, man, but he outmatched, man. He got nothing on David Morrell. And I like Calvin Henderson. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's lasting 6. I don't think he's lasting 6 in this fight. My God, Robert Calvin in the building, man. Iowa in the building. Big shout out to Robert Calvin, man. Say what up, G5. Big shout out to Robert Calvin, man. I think he just got married not that long ago, man. Big shout out to Robert Calvin. They got baby and all that. Big shout out to everybody. I ain't talked to you in a minute, man. We gotta catch up. You know, me and Big Tree talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta hit me up, bro. Hit me up, man. Set this interview up. Me and Vlog could definitely get you on camera. I think you got a fight coming up too, so you know what I mean. Definitely make that happen. But we gonna close this out, man. We 2 hours and 22 minutes strong in this joint, man. We just had VP Shane up in here. You follow him on Instagram at I_am Shane the number one. Again, that is I_am Shane the number one exclusively on Instagram. Vlog, give him your social media so we can get up out of here, baby.
You see the link for the YouTube channel, tap in, doing boxing news, betting tip videos, you know what I mean? Just covering the fight game all around. We revamping the website, g5ftv.com. So as soon as everything works out with that, expect the pin game to be back up to an elite level. Just covering the game of boxing, man. And on Instagram, that's my second home. Check me out, boxing, the number one STVLOG. I appreciate the support. Again, man, we just trying to do what we do in these boxing streets, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if anybody need to get in contact with us, man, get at us on social media, man. Like if you need to DM us about something, if it's a bet you looking at or whatever, need a little advice from your boys, let us know. We'll send you a little something. But if you hit, slide a couple dollars to your boys, you know what I'm saying? Little,
Double
you
back,
know,
you know what I mean?
little appreciation payment, you know what I'm saying?
Would you
So
say look over your shoulder, pitch me
yeah,
something?
yeah. Throw me a little something, you know what I mean? But tomorrow we're gonna get into the one part we couldn't get into today. That's Jamel Herring and Jermaine Ortiz. We'll put the finishing touches on the lab work for this weekend. We'll probably talk some more boxing odds and things like that. And whatever comes up. And you know what? I think we can break down Tank and Rolly too. That'll be another good tape
Start the week
breakdown.
the next week.
Started early. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A good tape breakdown, man. But listen, on behalf of VP Shane, aka Ice Cold Shane, Your boy Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. On behalf of the staff, this was episode 93 of the Goodfellas podcast. We will be back tomorrow with episode 94, more film study. Get with us.